Chapter 12:11. 3 days later, a huge piece of news spread throughout the Fire God City, causing a huge uproar in the central world. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. What? Feng Chen became an honorary elder of the Sky Hall? What was the Sky Hall doing? They were actually protecting Feng Chen in public. Could it be that there was some unknown relationship between Feng Chen and the Sky Hall? For a time, Feng Chen's name spread throughout the central world, becoming the focus of everyone's discussions. Feng Chen, because of the restrictions of the Sky Hall, you can only choose 3 treasures from the treasure cliff. You only have 2 hours, and I can't help you. Xian Fengxi opened the treasure pavilion that was sealed not long ago and slowly said, 3 treasures were enough. Yi Chenfeng's main goal was the powerful restriction that appeared at the end of the treasure cliff, so 3 chances were enough for him. Let's go, I'll bring you in. After saying that, Xian Fengxi brought him into the treasure pavilion. After passing through layers of restrictions, they arrived at the end of the treasure pavilion. Feng Chen, get ready, I'm going to open the treasure cliff. Xian Fengxi exhorted, then open the treasure cliff that was like a light wall. Immediately, the surface of the treasure cliff that was as smooth as a mirror began to distort. A large amount of treasures sealed in restrictions came out one after another, like meteors that streaked across the sky, streaking across the eyes of Yi Chenfeng and the others. Buzz, buzz. Once the treasure cliff opened, Yi Chenfeng raised the God-Eater Brain's deduction ability to the limit and released a powerful soul force to sense the restriction treasures one by one, searching for the target. After about half an incense stick's worth of time, the God-Eater Brain that was rapidly deducing sensed a powerful restriction appearing. Yi Chenfeng immediately controlled the Sword Dao diagram and Life and Death Dao diagram to appear on his body, forming a Dao intent giant hand that covered the sky and grabbed at the restriction treasure. Gotcha! When the Dao intent giant hand grabbed the restriction treasure, Yi Chenfeng immediately deduced the Dao intent to the limit and grabbed the treasure. The restriction on the surface of the treasure trembled violently and cracked. In the end, the restriction on the surface of the treasure was forcibly shattered by Yi Chenfeng's Dao intent hand. A pitch-black iron box appeared in the air and was grabbed by the Dao intent giant hand. Sacred Beast Pill. Opening the black metal box, Yi Chenfeng found a fist-sized beast core inside. It contained a majestic beast core. Judging from the beast core's beast core, this beast core was no ordinary low-level sacred beast core. It was a mid-level sacred beast core, which was rare even in the central world. After keeping the mid-grade sacred beast pill into his universe mirror, Yi Chenfeng closed his eyes and controlled the God-Eater Brain to continue deducing as he searched for his next target. Very quickly, another terrifying restriction appeared, and this restriction was stronger than the restriction of the sacred animal pill. This made Yi Chenfeng very interested in it, and he immediately controlled the 2 Dao diagrams to condense a large hand of Dao intent, and grabbed forward. The moment the large hand of Dao intent grabbed the restriction light ball, it immediately produced a powerful force and forcibly shattered the hand of Dao intent formed by the 2 Dao diagrams. Seeing that the large hand of Dao intent was shattered by this terrifying restriction, the 5 elemental Dao diagram appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body and released a powerful 5 elemental Dao pattern, which merged with the large hand of Dao intent that was full of cracks. It quickly repaired the cracks on the large hand of Dao intent and continuously tore apart the terrifying restriction. After the large hand of Dao intent and the restriction light ball were in a deadlock for more than 10 breaths of time, it finally shattered the terrifying restriction, revealing a black metal box, which was grabbed by the large hand of Dao intent. What kind of treasure was inside? Filled with curiosity, Yi Chenfeng opened the black metal box and found a small piece of blood-red bone marrow sealed inside. Judging from the power contained in the blood-red bone marrow, this small piece of bone marrow was suspected to be dragon marrow, which was the best item for tempering one's body. The Sky Hall's foundation was too terrifying. They even had dragon marrow. Yi Chunfeng wondered how much his dragon bloodline would improve after he refined this dragon marrow. Yi Chunfeng was even more satisfied with this harvest. He put it away and did not make any more move. He patiently waited for the final and most terrifying restriction treasure to appear. Time slowly flowed by. In next to no time, 2 hours were almost up, yet that terrifying restriction treasure still hadn't appeared after a long time. However, Yi Chunfeng still had no intention of making a move to seize the other restriction treasures. He continued to wait patiently. Finally, when there were less than 10 breaths of time left before the 2 hours were up, the restriction treasure that made Yi Chunfeng's heart tremble appeared. The instant this restriction treasure appeared, Yi Chunfeng clearly felt a trace of heavy pressure. He did not hesitate to summon the 4 Tao diagrams and the bronze sword soul, doing everything he could to subdue this terrifying restriction treasure. Crack! When the giant hand formed from the 4 Tao diagrams grabbed hold of the restriction treasure, it was immediately shaken by the powerful restriction, causing cracks to appear on its surface. At this time, the bronze sword soul turned into an incomparably sharp light sword that was enough to split the heavens and earth. It ruthlessly slashed down, forcibly splitting open a gap in this terrifying restriction. Tao intent hand explode. Time was limited. When the restriction cracked open, Yi Chunfeng immediately detonated the careless hand condensed from the 4 Tao diagrams, continuing to tear open the restriction, causing the entire restriction to be filled with crack. Bronze sword soul break. When there were only 3 breaths of time left, Yi Chunfeng controlled the bronze sword soul to launch the most fatal attack, tearing apart the severely damaged restriction in one fell swoop. The dark gold box emitting a faint light fell from the void into Yi Chunfeng's hand. And at this time 2 hours were up. The ancient formation in the treasure pavilion was activated, sending Yi Chunfeng and Xian Fengxi, whose face was full of shock, out of the treasure cliff. Fengchen, you actually obtained this item. Looking at the dark gold box in Yi Chunfeng's hand, Xian Fengxi was also extremely shocked and asked in astonishment. When Yi Chunfeng opened the dark gold box, he discovered an extremely ordinary-looking milky white jade pendant without any engravings lying in the box in silence. Senior, what is the origin of this jade pendant? Yi Chunfeng repeatedly sized up the white jade pendant and didn't find anything special, so he asked. This jade pendant is one of the 10 most ancient treasures in the treasure cliff. However, this jade pendant has been passed down for so long, yet no one has been able to decipher its secret. However, I can be sure that this jade pendant is not simple. However, I don't know how to decipher its secret, Xian Fengxi said. Then this junior will wait to study it properly. Yi Chunfeng was prepared to borrow the power of the God-Eater brain to attempt to decipher the secret of this white jade pendant. Fengchen, the central world isn't very peaceful recently. My Sky Hall dispatched experts to attack the Phantom. Therefore, you should stay in the Sky Hall during this period of time. No one can harm you here, Xian Fengxi said. Alright, then this junior will stay in the Sky Hall for a period of time. Yi Chunfeng's recent harvest was too abundant. He really wanted to spend a period of time to slowly digest it. First, he would break through to the 3rd transformation of the 9 transformations, then comprehend the 2 divine abilities, Heavenly Fire Threefold Transformation and Divine Ability Mirror Image. Then, he would break through to the 5th rank Beast Emperor realm. Alright, Fengchen, I am preparing to go into seclusion for a few days to make the final preparations for taking the rebirth pill. I won't accompany you, Xian Fengxi said slowly. Then this junior won't disturb senior. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng left the treasure pavilion guarded by Xian Fengxi and found Xian Hongzheng outside. Following him, he entered the fire god realm filled with spiritual energy. He found a secluded cave and began to cultivate in seclusion. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. The next time you open the bookshelf, you can see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:12. The Royal Saint Pill. I wonder what realm this pill can help me cultivate my physical body to? Yi Chunfeng sealed his cave and adjusted his breathing for several hours. After adjusting his condition to its peak, he took out the Royal Saint Pill that Master Nirvana had refined during the competition and swallowed it. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Boom. As the Royal Sacred Pill entered Yi Chunfeng's body, layers upon layers of boundless medicinal energy erupted from it, instantly opening up Yi Chunfeng's body. It was as if waves of energy were surging through his meridians, spreading throughout his entire body, wreaking havoc and destruction. Waves of tearing pain spread throughout Yi Chunfeng's body. His entire body was like a rolling ball from the majestic medicinal energy of the Royal Saint Pill, as if it could explode at any moment. Enduring the tearing pain, Yi Chunfeng quickly circulated the God 9 transformations. He forcefully compressed the explosive medicinal energy of the Royal Saint Pill into the Shenmen acupuncture point on his wrist, speeding up the transformation of the true spirit pearl in the Shenmen acupuncture point. At the same time, he controlled his internal organs to fuse with the medicinal energy of the Royal Saint Pill, allowing his physical body to undergo a deeper transformation. The Royal Saint Pill had undergone the baptism of the pill tribulation, so the medicinal energy it contained was extremely pure and vast. It allowed the true spirit pearl in the Shenmen acupuncture point and the transformation of his internal organs to speed up. However, the true spirit body to the astral body was a huge leap in the physical body. Not only did it increase the physical body's strength, but more importantly, it unearthed the physical body's potential and transformed the physical body's essence. Therefore, to transform the true spirit body into the astral body, it required an extremely large amount of energy. Just one Royal Saint Pill might not be enough. Luckily, Yi Chunfeng had obtained a small portion of the dragon marrow from the treasure cliff. With the dragon marrow's powerful dragon energy, he had the chance to cultivate the God 9 transformation to the astral body realm. Time passed day by day. Yi Chunfeng relied on his unyielding faith and extraordinary endurance to continuously refine the medicinal energy of the Royal Saint Pill. After relentless efforts, he used close to 10 days to finally refine the pure medicinal energy of the Royal Saint Pill into his Shenmen acupuncture point and his internal organs, allowing his physical body to complete 1/3 of the transformation. His meridians and physical body that were constantly being torn were also quickly healed under the spiritual pearl of life. If he didn't have the spiritual pearl of life, Yi Chunfeng wouldn't have dared to refine his physical body so crazily without caring about the cost. The difficulty of transforming the true spirit body to the astral body wasn't small. The difficulty of transforming the righteous body was beyond Yi Chunfeng's imagination. However, he believed that once his physical body completed the transformation, his physical body would definitely undergo an earth-shattering transformation. He would surpass ordinary low-grade Saint Beasts. Just relying on his physical body alone, he would be able to fight an ordinary Nirvana realm expert. Yi Chunfeng adjusted his breathing and healed the injuries to his physical body. Then, he took out the small piece of dragon marrow that was sealed in the small black box. It was priceless. Although a true dragon's body was thousands of meters long and this small piece of dragon marrow was only a tiny bit of its body, true dragons had long gone extinct in the Duhan continent. Moreover, the strength of a true dragon surpassed that of a Tao saint. Therefore, the value of this small piece of dragon marrow far exceeded that of the Royal Saint Pill. It could be said that it was something that could only be found by chance. Even Nirvana realm experts would fight over it madly if they saw it. After unsealing the small black box, Yi Chunfeng immediately felt the exuberant vitality and dragon force within the dragon marrow. The dragon race was indeed a mysterious and powerful race. This true dragon had probably died many years ago, but the dragon marrow it left behind still contained such exuberant vitality. He really didn't know where the Sky Hall obtained this small piece of dragon marrow. Staring at the bright red dragon marrow, Yi Chunfeng sucked a small part of the dragon marrow into his body. The energy contained within the dragon marrow was even more violent and powerful than the royal saint pill. As the violent energy surged into Yi Chunfeng's body, it immediately rampaged through his meridians and acupoints, wantonly destroying them. Yi Chunfeng had already expected the difficulty of refining the dragon marrow. When the dragon marrow was wantonly destroying his physical body, he endured the intense pain and circulated the God Transformation 9 transformations at high speed, using the primal chaos divine wood to suppress the violent dragon marrow. At the same time, the 2 innate saint pearls that had been refined into his body helped him repair his damaged physical body, preventing his physical body from being destroyed by the dragon marrow. Roar! When Yi Chunfeng was refining the dragon marrow with all his strength, terrifying dragon roars constantly rang out from his body. Even with the primal chaos divine wood suppressing the dragon marrow, his powerful physical body was still cracked by the dragon marrow. Pring pring pung, all of Yi Chunfeng's meridians and physical body were destroyed by the violent dragon marrow. Large amounts of blood spurted out from his body like a fountain, dyeing him red. The injuries on his physical body continued to worsen, but Yi Chunfeng, who had an incomparably strong willpower, was like a statue. He sat on the spot in silence, and his brows didn't even crease. It was as if the pain wasn't happening to him at all. Enduring the inhumane pain and refining a small part of the dragon marrow, Yi Chunfeng ignored the injuries on his physical body and continued to absorb the dragon marrow into his body, refining it with all his might and accelerating the transformation of his physical body. As time passed, Yi Chunfeng's meridians and internal organs were completely destroyed by the dragon marrow. More and more blood flowed out from his body, completely drenching his clothes. However, Yi Chunfeng didn't care at all, because the dragon marrow wasn't just a sacred object for tempering the body, it had an even greater effect, and that was to produce blood and exchange blood. The blood in Yi Chunfeng's body was the most ordinary blood. If he could fuse the blood in his body with the dragon blood and improve the quality of his blood, he would truly be reborn. As Yi Chunfeng was refining the dragon marrow, the dragon bloodline in his body was also transforming. Unknowingly, the dragon bloodline that had fused with a large amount of dragon marrow had reached the 8th grade. Once it was burned, it could instantly increase his soul power by 8 times, and it could also greatly increase the combat strength of his beast soul form. With the evolution of the dragon bloodline, my physical body and true spirit pearl have transformed by 2/3. If nothing goes wrong, I should be able to complete the final transformation in about 5 days and cultivate to the righteous body realm. Feeling the changes in his body and true spirit pearl, Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and controlled the spiritual pearl of life to continue healing his injuries. He absorbed the remaining dragon marrow into his body and accelerated the transformation of his physical body. After about 3 days, all the precious dragon marrow had been refined into Yi Chunfeng's body. Under the transformation of the dragon marrow, Yi Chunfeng's physical body, 5 viscera, and 6 bowels had undergone earth-shattering changes. A new strand of energy appeared in his Shunmen acupoint. This new strand of energy was of a quality that far surpassed true spirit force, and it contained a powerful righteous force. The appearance of righteous force meant that Yi Chunfeng was about to complete the most fundamental transformation, and he was only 1 step away from transforming into the righteous body realm. Just as Yi Chunfeng endured the pain and borrowed the power of the dragon marrow to break through to the righteous body realm, endless dark clouds suddenly appeared in the sky above the fire god city, locking onto the fire god realm that was hidden in the void. Physique tribulation, I actually attracted a physique tribulation. Yi Chunfeng was suddenly awakened from his cultivation. He did not expect that refining the dragon marrow would attract a body tribulation. However, Yi Chunfeng was not surprised by the appearance of the body tribulation. Instead, he was happy. He needed to borrow external forces to complete the last step of transformation, and the body tribulation was the best choice for him. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-13. What happened? Why did tribulation clouds appear in the sky of the fire god world? Could it be that the two grand elders refined the fire rebirth pellet and underwent rebirth? Xian Hongjing, who was cultivating in the fire god world, suddenly felt the aura of tribulation cloud. He was abruptly awakened from his cultivation and revealed a surprised expression. Just as he was about to go out and investigate, the communication pearl in his bosom suddenly rang. Following that, Yi Qinfeng's voice resounded from the communication pearl. Body tribulation, Feng Chun is going to undergo body tribulation. How many secrets is this little guy hiding? Undergoing body tribulation is really unheard of. After knowing that the tribulation clouds were attracted by Yi Qinfeng's body tribulation, Xian Hongjing revealed a look of disbelief. He hurriedly opened the space restriction of the fire god world. Rumble, an ocean of lightning appeared in the tribulation clouds. A large amount of lightning flashed in the tribulation clouds. The lightning was like a tide, destroying everything. The terrifying sound of thunder was also unceasing, as if it was going to pierce through one's eardrums. What happened? Why did tribulation clouds appear in the sky of the fire god city again? Are the hall masters refining pellets, or is someone breaking through? Looking at the tribulation clouds in the sky, the residents of the fire god city were alarmed once again. One after another, they appeared on the street. Black lightning, the lightning in the tribulation clouds was actually black in color. The lightning shocked the world, and the black lightning was like a tide. Looking at the pitch-black lightning that was constantly tearing apart the tribulation clouds, the people were alarmed and in awe. Come, body tribulation, help me complete the final transformation. Although Yi Qinfeng felt the power to destroy everything in the tribulation clouds, his foundation was too deep. Moreover, he had the primal chaos divine wood, a divine item that could restrain the power of lightning. He was not afraid of the body tribulation at all. He released the power of his physical body without holding back and waited for the body tribulation to descend. Boom! The violently rolling tribulation clouds trembled for a moment. A pitch-black tribulation lightning accompanied by a terrifying gale broke out of the tribulation clouds and bombarded Yi Qinfeng, who was standing upright and full of fighting spirit. Boom! The terrifying body tribulation ruthlessly bombarded Yi Qinfeng's body. Countless electric currents formed on the surface of his body and frantically destroyed his physical body, wanting to destroy him. However, after refining the saint pellet and dragon marrow, Yi Qinfeng's physical body had reached an extremely terrifying level. The first body tribulation was unable to harm his physical body at all. Facing the attack of the body calamity, Yi Qinfeng quickly activated the god's 9 transformations transformation and forcibly refined the black lightning into his Shinmen acupoint. He used the black lightning to refine the true spirit orb that was about to evolve and strengthen his physical body. Rumble, just as the first tribulation was about to be refined by Yi Qinfeng, the second tribulation descended. The entire fire of fire god world was trembling under the attack. Yi Qinfeng's, the entire fire god realm to tremble under the attacks realm. Yi, the entire fire realms, slightly two's realm. Yi, of Yi god realm. The realms god realm. To Yi. Facing the second body tribulation lightning, Yi Qinfeng still didn't resist. He allowed the black lightning to bombard his powerful physical body. He activated the 9 transformations and continued to refine the terrifying body tribulation lightning into his body. After refining a large amount of black lightning, Yi Chunfeng's physical body began to crack. A large amount of blood flowed out continuously. He was enduring unimaginable damage. However, Yi Chunfeng's blood and energy became more and more vigorous. Under the restoration of the life spirit bead, he completely withstood the damage to his physical body and rapidly transformed it. Was this Feng Qin the reincarnation of an ancient beast? How could his physical body be so terrifying? This level of defense had probably surpassed a high-grade Dao artifact. Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng using his flesh and blood to withstand the body tribulation, Xian Hongjing and the others were deeply shocked, revealing a horrified expression. If it was an ordinary person, they would have turned into ashes long ago after being attacked by such a terrifying body tribulation. However, Yi Chunfeng allowed the body tribulation to attack his body and temper himself. It was enough to show how terrifying his physical body was. Boom! Boom! Once again, a deafening explosion rang out from the violently tumbling tribulation clouds. A large wave of thunder burst out from the tribulation clouds, shattering the void and bombarding Yi Chunfeng's body, causing his skin and flesh to split open and blood to splatter everywhere. He relied on his physical body to resist again. Xian Hongjing and the others sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw that Yi Chunfeng's physical body was still intact under the terrifying bombardment of the tribulation clouds. Yi Chunfeng was constantly being attacked by the destructive body tribulation. His physical body was riddled with holes and was on the verge of collapse. However, after refining a large amount of the power of the body tribulation, the true spirit bead in his Heaven's Gate meridian finally transformed into an even more powerful astral bead. The astral bead's transformation was successful. Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the powerful astral energy to spread throughout his body, strengthening his physical body's defense. He pointed his fists to the sky and activated the 9 transformations at high speed. He crazily swallowed the black lightning and accelerated the transformation of his physical body. This shocking scene stunned Xian Hongjing and the others. They didn't dare to believe what they were seeing. Madman, this kid was definitely a madman. When others faced this kind of terrifying body tribulation, they would try their best to resist it. However, he was devouring the body tribulation. Once he was given enough space to grow, his strength would probably rise to an unimaginable level. Xian Hongjing took a deep breath and couldn't help but sigh. Receiving Yi Chunfeng's provocation, the speed of the body tribulation's descent became faster and faster. Its power also became stronger and stronger. The endless black lightning completely annihilated Yi Chunfeng. The terrifying power caused the fire god realm to tremble violently. Just as Xian Hongjing strengthened the power of the restriction in the fire god realm and withstood the destructive attack of the black lightning, Yi Chunfeng completed the transformation of his physical body under the baptism of the body tribulation. It transformed into an even more powerful astral body. The moment his physical body underwent a qualitative change, his dragon bloodline that had fused with a large amount of dragon marrow also completed its evolution and reached the 9th grade bloodline. Rumble, as the body tribulation neared its end, the violently tumbling tribulation clouds rapidly gathered and turned into a black lightning bolt that was as thick as a child's arm. It was like a spatial crack that pierced through the void as it struck towards Yi Chunfeng. Although the momentum of this last black lightning bolt wasn't great, the destructive power it contained increased exponentially. It tore through the void and shattered it unceasingly. God and Devil bloodline ignite. After cultivating the God transformation 9 transformations to the astral body realm, Yi Chunfeng's physical strength reached 100 million Jin. When he ignited his God and Devil bloodline, his physical strength doubled, reaching 200 million Jin of strength. His physical defense also reached the level of an ancient Dao tool. Break! Yi Chunfeng roared. The strength in his body was like a surging tide that fused into his fist. He stimulated the dead spirit pearl to erupt with an astonishing amount of death energy as he welcomed the last black lightning bolt with a punch. Boom! 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 The black lightning bolt collided with Yi Qinfeng's fist. The 200 million gene of strength continued to explode, crushing the black dragon-like lightning energy as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. After a series of intense clashes, the last body tribulation was broken by Yi Qinfeng with absolute strength. The tribulation clouds that covered the void gradually dispersed. The astral body was indeed powerful. However, the grade of his god and devil bloodline was a little low. It could only amplify the strength of his astral body by 2 times. Although Yi Qinfeng was very satisfied with his astral body, the only flaw was that the grade of his god and devil bloodline was too low. It couldn't amplify the strength of his astral body by 3 times. It was somewhat regrettable. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-14. I'm sorry, Hall Master Xian. The body tribulation just now caused a big commotion and destroyed the fire god realm. Yi Qinfeng changed into a new set of clothes and appeared in front of Xian Hongzheng and the others in a flash. Watermark advertisement test Fengchen. You're cultivating the body system? Although Yi Qinfeng's body didn't look strong, Xian Hongzheng and the others could vaguely feel that his body contained a terrifying power. In terms of physical strength, Xian Hongzheng, who was in the Nirvana realm, felt that he was inferior to Yi Qinfeng, who was in the Aura realm. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said, "Yes, I mainly cultivate Dao intent and body refinement." Xian Hongzheng thought that he had seen too many amazing talents, but compared to you, they were too far away. Xian Hongzheng said with emotion, "Cultivate well. I hope that one day you can stand at the top of the central world. Then, the heavenly palace will be able to benefit from you." Yi Qinfeng nodded and said solemnly, "I will work hard." Because Yi Qinfeng's cultivation cave was destroyed by the body tribulation, Xian Hongzheng arranged a quiet cave for him to cultivate. It was time to break through to the level 5 combat beast emperor realm. Yi Qinfeng planned to increase his strength to the level 5 combat beast emperor realm before leaving the heavenly palace for a trip to the central world. Before cultivating in seclusion, Yi Qinfeng entered the universe realm and called Jin Qing Dragon Blood Lion and the Marquis Qianming to his side. "Marquis Qianming, I promise to help you break through to the Nirvana realm. I'll give you this saint pill. With your current strength, you should have a chance to reach the Nirvana realm after refining this saint pill." Yi Qinfeng didn't hesitate and gave a 1-mark saint pill to the Marquis Qianming. "Thank you, young Master Yi." After receiving the saint pill from Yi Qinfeng, the Marquis Qianming was very excited. Although he used to be a duke of the Kirin kingdom, the value of the divine elixir was too high, and it was too rare. With his status back then, he would never be able to get a divine elixir unless he made great contributions to the Kirin kingdom. Dragon Blood Lion, this mid-level Saint Beast core is for you. I hope that you can quickly reach the limit of a 9th-level Heavenly Beast and break through to the Saint Beast stage. At that time, I will think of a way to help you pass the heavenly punishment. Yi Qinfeng gave the Sacred Beast core he obtained from the treasure cliff to his loyal Jin Qing Dragon Blood Lion. "Alright, you guys go cultivate." With that, Yi Qinfeng left the universe realm and came to the outside world. He took out an invaluable saint pill and placed it in his mouth. Before he could even chew it, the saint elixir turned into a stream of heat. Like a surging flood, it poured into his body and spread throughout his body. "It's hot." Yi Qinfeng realized that the medicinal power of the saint elixir was like boiling water. It was boiling in his body, burning his body and internal organs. A large amount of heat flowed out of his pores. Enduring the burning sensation in his body, Yi Chunfeng gritted his teeth and sealed all the pores in his body to prevent the medicinal power of the Saint Elixir from leaking out. He circulated the soul-devouring tactic over and over again to refine the burning medicinal power in his body. Due to the terrifying heat released by the Saint Elixir, Yi Chunfeng's skin turned fiery red. The clothes on his body were ignited by his burning skin and burned to ashes. However, Yi Chunfeng had cultivated the righteous body, and his physical body had become too terrifying. Although the heat released by the Saint Elixir made him feel intense pain, it could not hurt his physical body at all. Relying on his strong endurance, Yi Chunfeng endured the burning sensation and quickly refined the medicinal power of the Saint Elixir into his body. Under the enhancement of the burning medicinal power of the Saint Elixir, Yi Chunfeng's strength increased rapidly. The Tao will in his body was also strengthened under the nourishment of the Saint Elixir's medicinal power. In about 5 days, Yi Chunfeng had completely refined and absorbed the Saint Elixir's medicinal power. If an ordinary level 4 combat beast emperor expert completely refined the Saint Elixir, they could directly break through to level 6 combat beast emperor. However, Yi Chunfeng's foundation was too deep. After refining the Saint Elixir, he could only cultivate to the limit of level 4 combat beast emperor. He could not break through to level 5 combat beast emperor. Just as Yi Chunfeng consolidated his strength and was about to take the second Saint Elixir to break through to level 5 combat beast emperor, he felt Xian Hong appear outside his cave. He stopped cultivating and put on a new set of clothes. He closed the soundproof restriction and walked out. "Hall Master Xian, are you looking for me?" Yi Chunfeng asked softly when he saw Xian Hong, who suddenly came to visit. "Feng Chen, 2 people came to the Heavenly Palace yesterday. They said that they are your friends and have something important to tell you. They want to meet you," Xian Hong said. "My friends?" Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly. He did not have many friends in the Central World, so he could not think of who would want to meet him. "Hall Master Xian, what are the 2 people called?" Yi Chunfeng asked softly. "One of them is called Kong Sungchen, and the other is called Xing Biue," Xian Hong said. "Hall Master Xian, where are they?" Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows. He did not expect that the 2 people who came to find him would be Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue. However, Bai Feng did not come. He vaguely guessed that something might have happened to Bai Feng. "It seems that they are really your friends," Xian Hong said slowly. "Let's go. I will take you to see them." After speaking, Xian Hong took Yi Chunfeng and left the Fire God realm. They came to the reception hall of the Fire God Palace. At this time, Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue were anxiously waiting in the reception hall. When they heard the footsteps and looked up, they saw Yi Chunfeng walking over slowly with an old man with a strong aura. They were overjoyed and stood up from their chairs. "Hall Master Xian, can I talk to them alone?" Yi Chunfeng communicated with Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue with his eyes and said, "Of course." Xian Hongjing very happily agreed, turned around and left. Walking into the reception hall, Yi Chunfeng immediately set up a soundproof restriction in the reception hall. He looked at Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue, who were slightly excited, and said, "Seniors, how did you know that I was in the Heavenly Palace? Where is Senior Bai Feng? Why is he not with you?" "Something happened to Bai Feng," the tired Kong Sungchen said. "Seniors, don't be anxious. Tell me slowly. What happened to Senior Bai Feng?" Yi Chunfeng asked after motioning them to sit down. "Sigh, when the 3 of us were wandering in the Central World, we picked up a precious spiritual item at the mouth of a volcano. It was also because of that spiritual item that the 3 of us had a conflict with the people of the demonic Pattern Valley. Although we managed to protect the spiritual item with our strength, the experts of the demonic Pattern Valley were very strong. The injured Bai Feng was still captured by them. They gave us a month to bring the spiritual item to the demonic Pattern Valley in exchange for Bai Feng. Otherwise, we would burn Bai Feng alive. We knew that this was a trap. As long as we went, we would have no hope of surviving. Just as we were about to lose all hope, we inadvertently learned that you had become an honorary elder of the Heavenly Palace under a pseudonym and saw your portrait. So, we came to the Heavenly Palace to try our luck. Kong Sungchen told Yi Chenfeng the whole story. Seniors, what spiritual item did you pick that made the demonic Pattern Valley go to war with you? Yi Chenfeng asked with a frown. It was a golden lotus burning with flames. Saying so, Jiang Xingchen took out the golden fire lotus he had plucked. Golden petal flaming lotus. Looking at the golden lotus in Kong Sungchen's hand, Yi Chenfeng immediately recognized that it was the golden petal flaming lotus that could make Nirvana realm experts go crazy. It was the golden petal flaming lotus that could destroy the power of the world's divine punishment. Seniors, how much longer do we have until the 1-month deadline? Yi Chenfeng asked. There were less than 15 days left, Xing Bue said anxiously. There was enough time. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, Let's go, seniors. We will leave the Heavenly Palace now and go to the demonic Pattern Valley to save people. The 3 of us will go. Kong Sungchen knew the strength of the demonic Pattern Valley and wanted Yi Chenfeng to ask for help from the Heavenly Palace. The 3 of us will be enough. Yi Chenfeng had a conflict with the protector of the demonic Pattern Valley and asked about the strength of the demonic Pattern Valley. The demonic Pattern Valley was attached to the Octave Divine Nation and was just an ordinary sacred ground. The Valley Master, the Black Demon Emperor, was a Nirvana expert. Other than the Black Demon Emperor, there were 2 other Nirvana experts in the demonic Pattern Valley. However, the 100 mid-grade heaven crystals obtained from the Heavenly Palace were enough for Yi Chenfeng to deal with the Nirvana experts and destroy the demonic Pattern Valley. Alright. Kong Sungchen and Xing Bue looked at each other and didn't say anything. They followed behind Yi Chenfeng and left the living room. They found the girl from the Zhou family and brought her to Xian Hongjing. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-15. Feng Chen, what happened to you guys? Why are you leaving so suddenly? Knowing that Yi Chenfeng was leaving, Xian Hongjing asked with concern, Do you need help? Don't worry, Palace Master Xian, we can deal with it ourselves. Yi Chenfeng shook his head. Watermark advertisement test. Although this matter could be easily resolved with Sky Hall's help, Yi Chenfeng did not want to let Mo Rune Valley off so easily. Feng Chen, the Central World is not peaceful recently, and you are the talk of the Central World. Many people are coveting your treasures. Once you appear in the Central World, you might be in big trouble. Xian Hongjing reminded him worriedly. I understand. Before Senior Absolute Sword left, he gave this junior a human-skinned mask. With that human-skinned mask, even a Nirvana Heavenly Realm powerhouse would not be able to see my true appearance, Yi Chenfeng said confidently with a faint smile. Since you have made up your mind, I will not try to persuade you. However, the Central World is full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Remember to be careful. If you encounter any big trouble that you cannot solve, remember to contact us. My Sky Hall will always be your solid backing. Xian Hongjing nodded and reminded. Thank you. Yi Chenfeng felt warmth in his heart as he said gratefully. Palace Master Xian, does Sky Hall have a teleportation array that leads directly to Octahead Kingdom? In order to save time, Yi Chenfeng wanted to use the teleportation array to go directly to Octahead Kingdom. Yes, come with me. Xian Hongjing nodded and brought Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 to the teleportation hall. Feng Chen, be careful. If you have time, come back and visit, Xian Hongjing reminded. Alright, Palace Master Xian, we will meet again. After speaking, Yi Chenfeng put on the human skin mask and hid his true face. He stood in the teleportation array with Kong Sungchen and the other 2 and left Sky Hall. They arrived at a 9-star sky pavilion located in Octahead Kingdom. Miss, after dealing with the matters at hand, I will send you home. For now, you should sleep for a while. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng fed the Zhou clanswoman a pill, causing her to fall unconscious and be transported into the universe realm. Come on, let's go to the Glyph Valley. Yi Chunfeng held the topographic map of the 8 divergent divine country that Shui Hanyan had given him. He locked onto the location of the demonic pattern valley and led Jiang Xingqian out of the 9-star heavenly pavilion, hurrying towards the demonic pattern valley. The demonic rune valley was one of the top holy lands in the central world. It was a vassal of the 8 divergent divine nation. The valley master, the Black Demon Emperor, was a famous expert of the 8 divergent divine nation. Because the demonic Rune Valley had been a vassal of the 8 Paths divine nation for generations, the relationship between the demonic Rune Valley and the 8 Paths divine nation was extremely close. Relying on this relationship, the demonic Rune Valley controlled a county of the 8 Paths divine nation, and almost no one in the 8 Paths divine nation dared to provoke them. It's been more than 20 days. Why haven't those 2 appeared yet? The Black Demon Emperor, who wore a black robe embroidered with skulls, had a square face and a black beard around his mouth. His eyes were deeply sunken into his cheeks, and he gave off a fiendish feeling as he sat on a throne of white bones. He looked at the several spies of Devilmark Valley and asked in a deep voice, "No, those 2 seem to have disappeared from the face of the earth. We guessed that they might have escaped from Octahead Kingdom." One of the spies of Devilmark Valley said in awe, "Damn it, they dared to escape after stealing my golden fiery lotus. Even if they run to the ends of the earth, I will catch them." The Black Demon Emperor's eyes were burning with anger. He ordered loudly, "Go, hang the person you caught on the flagpole at the entrance of the valley. When the 1 month is up, if those 2 still don't appear, I will skin them alive." It was the Demon Emperor. A burly man exuding a thick demonic aura received the order. He pulled Bai Feng, who had been tortured to death, out of the dungeon and hung him on a flagpole dozens of meters high outside Devilmark Valley. Not long after Bai Feng was hung on the flagpole, the spies immediately sent news that Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue had appeared. Good, you are finally willing to come. Today, I will definitely make it impossible for you to escape." Hearing this news, the Black Demon Emperor revealed a cruel smile. He immediately ordered the experts of Devilmark Valley to lie in ambush outside the valley, waiting for Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue to appear so that he could capture them and take back the golden fiery lotus that was extremely important to him. "Qingfeng, I heard that Devilmark Valley's master, the Black Demon Emperor, is a Nirvana expert. Are the 3 of us really okay?" Kong Sungchen asked worriedly, fully aware of how terrifying Nirvana experts were. "Don't worry, as long as there is no Nirvana Heavenly Realm expert in Devilmark Valley, our strength is enough to rescue Senior White and make Devilmark Valley pay a painful price," Yi Chunfeng said with a confident smile. On the way to Devilmark Valley, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul sensed that several hidden auras had been secretly following them. However, he didn't care. According to the topographic map, he quickly flew with Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue, and soon flew out of Devilmark Valley. From afar, he saw a majestic mountain range that stretched for an unknown number of miles, with most of its peaks reaching into the clouds. The mountain range in front of him was Black Demon Mountain, where Devilmark Valley was located. Senior White, as they approached the entrance of Devilmark Valley, Yi Chunfeng saw that Bai Feng, who was covered in wounds and on the verge of death, was tied up and hung on a flagpole tens of meters high. His breathing was weak, and his face immediately revealed a fierce expression. Whoosh! An ear-piercing sound rang out. Yi Chunfeng suddenly ignited his golden rock bloodline, increasing his speed by 4 times. He turned into a golden phantom in the air and flew over at an extremely fast speed. He wanted to save Bai Feng first, so that there wouldn't be any accidents when a conflict broke out. As Yi Chunfeng flew over, a powerful restriction was activated, enveloping Yi Chunfeng. It wanted to trap him and not give him a chance to save Bai Feng. However, Yi Chunfeng's flying speed was too fast, and his physical strength had reached 100 million jin. He was like a meteor streaking across the sky, bringing with him invincible strength as he directly pierced through the powerful restriction and appeared in front of Bai Feng. Just as Yi Chunfeng was about to save Bai Feng, a blurry figure suddenly appeared. It opened its bloody mouth and spat out a large amount of poisonous fog, biting toward Yi Chunfeng. Level 9 Heavenly Beast Purple-spotted venomous snake. Looking at the venomous beast that was sneaking up on him, Yi Chunfeng did not retreat. Instead, he charged forward. He poured all his strength into his right fist and punched at the head of the purple-spotted venomous snake that was baring its fangs. Boom! The 100 million jin of strength mixed with the power of the undead spirit pearl crashed into the purple-spotted venomous snake's head like a meteor. The terrifying power easily crushed the purple-spotted venomous snake's head, causing it to explode. After that, Yi Chunfeng used his palm as a blade and chopped at the tough chains binding Bai Feng's body. He severed the chains and saved Bai Feng, who had long since fallen unconscious and whose life was hanging by a thread, and transported her into the universe realm. Chi! The moment Yi Chunfeng saved Bai Feng, extremely fast and powerful light arrows shot toward Yi Chunfeng in the air, wanting to kill him. However, after cultivating the righteous body, Yi Chunfeng's physical body was comparable to a top-grade Dao artifact. The light arrows could not hurt him at all. Ancient Underworld Song. Yi Chunfeng locked his gaze on the Devil Rune Valley experts who were shooting arrows at him. The soul force in his mind erupted, forming the ancient Underworld song that sounded like a golden horse and an iron spear. It was like the sound of hell, bombarding the dozens of Devil Rune Valley experts. Pained shrieks resounded. Dozens of Demon Pattern Valley's experts were attacked by Yi Chunfeng's great Dao sound and ancient Underworld song. Their bodies exploded, turning into clumps of blood mist as they died. This strange scene shocked the Devil Rune Valley experts. For a moment, the Devil Rune Valley that was filled with the thick smell of blood fell silent. No one dared to attack Yi Chunfeng again. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-16. So strong. Qingfeng has actually become so strong. Jiang Xingchen and Xing Biue, who had followed closely behind Yi Chunfeng, were deeply shocked after witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng killing dozens of Devil Rune Valley's experts. After not seeing each other for several years, they discovered that Yi Chunfeng's strength had already grown to a level that they could only look up to. However, when they thought of the Black Demon Emperor's strength, they still did not know how Yi Chunfeng would deal with him. Junior, how dare you slaughter my Devil Mark Valley's disciples in my Devil Mark Valley? Today, I won't spare you. A furious, thunderous voice rang out in Demon Marking Valley. An old woman with a head full of silver hair and wearing a black robe with golden patterns flew out of Demon Marking Valley while holding a shiny, silver dragon-headed cane. She attacked Yi Chunfeng with a shocking force. Nirvana's almighty sensing the strength of the old woman, Yi Chunfeng did not show any fear on his face. His body flashed slightly, and the power of his 5 acupoints erupted. With a powerful sense of pressure, he met the attack with his bare hand. Boom! Yi Chunfeng's fist, which contained 100 million jin of force, collided with the old woman's dragon head cane. Instantly, the sound of space being torn apart erupted. After blocking the dragon head cane's attack with a punch, the life and death Dao diagram appeared on Yi Chunfeng's body. He punched out, and the Dao diagram transformed into the 2 extreme Daos of life and death. With a terrifying force of extreme Daos, he continued to bombard the dragon head cane, which was glowing with silver light and had a ferocious aura. He fought fiercely with the old woman in mid-air. The reason why Nirvana realm experts were so powerful was because when they borrowed the spatial energy of the Heaven Domain Gate to cultivate Nirvana realm, the soul energy in their body would evolve into a higher level of Tao energy. Although the Tao energy evolved by Nirvana realm experts was not as pure as that of Tao saints, it was still far more powerful than soul energy. More importantly, with the baptism of the spatial energy of the Heaven Domain Gate, Nirvana realm experts' comprehension of Tao intent would be deeper. This was also the true reason why Nirvana realm experts could instantly kill Class 6 Battle Beast Emperors. However, when the old woman fought fiercely with Yi Chenfeng, she discovered that the strength that she was so proud of was not only unable to suppress Yi Chenfeng, but was also suppressed by him. Her Tao energy did not have the slightest advantage. This made the old woman reveal a look of disbelief. What kind of monster was this kid? The old woman no longer dared to underestimate Yi Chenfeng. She deduced her Tao energy to the extreme. 2 Tao diagrams appeared on her old body, increasing her strength, amplifying her strength. She unceasingly launched attacks like a tidal wave. She wanted to borrow her Tao energy to kill Yi Chenfeng. True Qilin Seal relying on his absolute defense to withstand the ferocious attacks of the old woman, Yi Chenfeng quickly formed seals with both of his hands. Surging Tao intent crazily surged, transforming into a mighty Qilin that was more than 30 meters tall in front of Yi Chenfeng. It trampled on the space like a majestic mountain and crashed towards the old woman. Break! The true Qilin Seal crushed the void as it approached. The eyes of the old woman shot out turbid rays of light. She let out a sharp cry. The power of the 2 Tao diagrams surged into the dragon-headed cane, shattering the true Qilin Seal. Stun art the moment the true Qilin Seal shattered, the soul power in Yi Chenfeng's mind exploded, forming a powerful stun art. It ruthlessly bombarded the old woman's soul sea. Although the old woman's realm was much higher than Yi Chenfeng's, the realm of her soul was not as good as Yi Chenfeng's. When she was hit by the stun art, her soul trembled. Her mind went blank for a short moment, and her defense became slightly sluggish. Ability, Tyrannical Kick. Yi Chenfeng stepped out, suppressing the heavens and earth as all living things wailed in agony. The weight of the tyrant's foot, with a force of 100 million Jin, ruthlessly stomped down on the silver-haired old woman's body. The terrifying force crushed her body's defenses as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood, sending her flying with a single stomp. What? The Grand Elder was injured? Witnessing Yi Chenfeng heavily injuring the old woman with a single kick, the experts of Devil Rune Valley were deeply shocked. They looked as if they had seen a ghost. Brat, you're courting death. Another furious roar resounded in the demonic Marking Valley. A skinny Nirvana realm old man with white hair fluttering in the wind flew out from the demonic Marking Valley. He held a long spear covered in tool markings and pierced it towards Yi Chenfeng. A high-grade Tao spear. Wasn't Devil Rune Valley a little too shabby? Yi Chenfeng's lips curled up slightly when he saw the high-grade Tao spear thrusting towards him. He revealed a disdainful smile as he charged towards the snake-like Tao spear. Fiend God Bloodline, ignite! Seeing the old man's high-grade Tao spear about to pierce Yi Chenfeng's body, Yi Chenfeng decisively ignited his Fiend God Bloodline. He instantly raised his body's defense to the level of an ancient Tao treasure. His strength doubled as he met the attack with a punch. Gotcha! The fist and spear collided. A force of over 200 million Jin directly shattered the sharp spear light. It pierced through the high-grade Tao spear and caused cracks to appear on the incomparably hard spear tip. What? The skinny old man widened his eyes in shock as he felt the rebounding force from the high-grade Tao spear. He couldn't believe that Yi Chenfeng's body was stronger than ordinary low-grade Saint Beast. He could shatter a high-grade Tao spear with a single punch. 3 heads, 6 arms. While the old man was still in shock, Yi Chenfeng ignited his dragon bloodline and transformed into the terrifying ultimate form of 3 heads, 6 arms. His dragon bloodline had reached the 9th grade. Once it was ignited, it could instantly increase Yi Qinfeng's soul power by 9 times. It was even more terrifying than the old man's Tao energy. "You're from the Qilin royal family." Looking at Yi Qinfeng's 3-headed, 6-armed form, the old man's expression changed slightly. He was basically sure that Yi Qinfeng was an expert from the Qilin royal family. "You talk too much nonsense." Yi Qinfeng summoned 6 heavy weapons. They moved quickly and attacked the skinny old man like a torrential rain. Under the mountain-like attacks, the old man's attack was instantly suppressed. He had no choice but to condense 2 Tao diagrams to increase the power of his Tao intent. He fought fiercely with Yi Qinfeng in the void. Moon concealment technique. After forcefully neutralizing Yi Qinfeng's tide-like attacks, a 9-foot 9-inch-long dragon head saber covered in dark golden light appeared in the old man's hand. It was a high-grade Tao artifact. He executed the demonic Rune Valley's secret technique and slashed out a saber light that was like a crescent moon. It carried a powerful and domineering force as it slashed towards Yi Qinfeng. In the face of the old man's secret technique, Yi Qinfeng, who was full of momentum, did not dodge. Instead, he met the attack with all his might. The life and death Tao diagram, heaven and earth Tao diagram, and the 5 elements Tao diagram appeared on his body. Surging Tao intent surged wildly like a broken dam and flowed into his 6 arms. He was multitasking and his 6 arms executed different Tao techniques at the same time. Boom boom boom, the twin Taos of life and death, the sky-splitting hand, the true Qilin seal, the skyfire fist of the great sun, the 3 absolutes of water, and the blue sky seal struck out at the same time. With a force that could swallow mountains and rivers, they shattered everything. With a power that made people despair, they shattered the old man's moon concealment tyrannical art and viciously struck his body. Puff puff. In an instant, the old man's body defense was broken. The 6 Tao techniques were unstoppable and directly blasted him away. He left a large amount of blood mist in the air as he fell heavily to the ground. Yi Qinfeng fought the 2 Nirvana patriarchs of the demonic Rune Valley and obtained an overwhelming victory. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-17. Demon Marks Burn. The heavily injured silver-haired old lady and scrawny old man flew out from the crater and executed their final trump card, burning their terrifying demon marks to suppress their injuries and kill Yi Qinfeng with all their might. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Billowing black demonic qi gushed out from their bodies, covering the sunlight and darkening the entire demon mark valley. Kill. The silver-haired old lady and scrawny old man roared and charged towards Yi Qinfeng with boundless demonic qi. They wanted to borrow the power of the demon marks to kill Yi Qinfeng. The demon marks were the greatest secret of the demon mark valley. They were totem carvings that were engraved on the body through a secret art. Once they were burned, their battle prowess would be greatly enhanced. After fusing with the demon marks, the 2's battle prowess had nearly doubled. But their ferocious attacks were still unable to break through Yi Qinfeng's defense. Relying on his physical body that was comparable to an ancient Tao treasure, Yi Qinfeng blocked the attacks of the silver-haired old woman and the middle-aged man. Then, he waved his 6 heavy armaments to meet the attacks with all his might. The tide-like attacks continuously worsened the injuries of the silver-haired old woman and the middle-aged man, suppressing their attacks. What kind of body is this? Yi Qinfeng was still suppressing the burning demonic runes, and their attacks were unable to break through Yi Qinfeng's defenses. This caused the 2 old women to become more and more alarmed as they fought. They continued to use the moon concealment tyrannical art to attack Yi Qinfeng without regard for their energy consumption. But after a while, Yi Qinfeng wasn't injured, but they had expended a lot of their Tao energy. ancient underworld Song Yi Chunfeng was fighting 1 against 2. As he fought fiercely with the silver-haired old woman and the old man, the soul of a 3-star Tao saint erupted and transformed into a terrifying sound of the great Tao. It played out a hellish sound of the ancient underworld and attacked the souls of the 2 old women. Under the attack of the ancient underworld song, the 2 immediately felt as if their heads were being pricked by needles. Their battle prowess and reaction speed were greatly affected, making it even harder for them to defend against Yi Chunfeng's storm-like attack. Gu Dao treasure. While the 2 of them endured the song of the ancient underworld and used the moon concealment hegemony art to clash head-on with Yi Chunfeng, the 2 of them summoned their 2 Gu Dao treasures and attacked Yi Chunfeng. The 2 of them had chosen the perfect timing to attack. Once Yi Chunfeng was hit by the 2 Gu Dao treasure, it was highly possible that he would be injured. At that time, they would have the opportunity to turn the tide and turn the situation around. His battle experience was indeed plentiful, but unfortunately, Gu Dao treasure's level was a little low. Yi Chunfeng willed and the quasi-saint treasure, the fallen soul bell, given to him by the Black Lightning King, appeared. It covered his body and resisted the 2 Gu Dao treasure's fatal attack. Boom boom bell tolls resounded through the sky, sweeping through the surroundings like stormy waves, fiercely bombarding the silver-haired old woman and the young man who couldn't dodge in time, directly destroying their defenses and severely injuring their souls and bodies. Fallen soul bell, kill. Seeing the 2 of them spit out blood and lose control of their bodies, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the fallen soul bell to attack. He wanted to borrow the power of the fallen soul bell to kill the 2 of them. Suddenly, a blurry black shadow appeared and blocked in front of the silver-haired old woman and the young man. It held a hexagonal stone plate in its hand and bombarded the falling soul bell, blocking the falling soul bell's sure-kill attack. Black Demon Emperor, you finally couldn't help but make a move. Seeing the burly man whose strength had reached nirvana's, the corners of Yi Chunfeng's mouth curled up slightly, revealing an arrogant smile. My demonic pattern valley has never offended the Kirin royal family. Why have you come to meddle in this mess? The Black Demon Emperor asked coldly. Your demonic pattern valley bullied my people from the Kirin kingdom. Shouldn't I take revenge? Yi Chunfeng deliberately lied that he was from the Kirin kingdom and said coldly. Why don't you say that they stole my demonic pattern valley's spiritual treasure? The Black Demon Emperor snorted coldly, not showing any weakness. Thoughts flashed through his mind as he pondered how he should end today's matter. Although he was a little afraid of the Kirin royal family, the golden fiery lotus was too important to him. With the golden fiery lotus, he had hopes of breaking through to the Nirvana heavenly realm by borrowing the space of the Sky Domain Gate. Forget it, I can't be bothered to argue with you. Today, I will destroy your demonic pattern valley and let you know the consequences of offending my Kirin royal family. Yi Chunfeng said nonsense. What a big tone. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Let me tell you, this is the Octahead Divine Nation, not your Kirin kingdom. The Black Demon Emperor didn't expect Yi Chunfeng, who was a Class 4 combat beast emperor, to be so arrogant. His eyes emitted dense killing intent. Then let's try it. After saying that, a light flashed under Yi Chunfeng's feet as he took the initiative to attack the Black Demon Emperor. He wanted to use the Black Demon Emperor to test the strength of his astral body. Courting death. Seeing Yi Chunfeng coming at him, the Black Demon Emperor's killing intent soared. Rolling demonic chi poured out of his body and quickly turned into a huge pitch-black hand that blotted out the sky. It slammed down from the void and smashed toward Yi Chunfeng, wanting to smash him to pieces. 200 million gene of force, break! Yi Chunfeng roared, and the power of his entire body erupted like a volcano. It erupted from his body, causing the entire void to tremble violently. He bombarded the devil's hand with irresistible force. Endless energy sparks raged in the void. Two terrifying forces fiercely repelled each other in the void, causing cracks to spread on the surface of the demonic hand. The 200 million gene of force that Yi Chunfeng had unleashed was also rapidly disintegrated by the power of the demonic hand. What great strength! The Black Demon Emperor didn't expect Yi Chunfeng's physical strength to be so terrifying that he could resist the demonic hand he had condensed with just physical strength alone. However, he was a nirvana powerhouse after all. His strength was much stronger than the silver-haired old woman and Yi Chunfeng. As he struck out with a second palm, he directly broke Yi Chunfeng's 200 million gene of force. Nirvana powerhouses were indeed powerful. Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrank. The top-grade Dao tool, Ice Dragon Sword, appeared in his hand. With a flash, he evaded the remaining power of the demonic hand and stabbed toward the Black Demon Emperor's chest. Perishing Sun Demonic Palmus Yi Chunfeng's sword stabbed over, a pair of black gloves appeared in the Black Demon Emperor's hand. The Tao of Darkness and the Tao of Death appeared on his body. His hands quickly twisted, instantly condensing a black doomsday-like giant palm print that blasted toward Yi Chunfeng. One-line sword slash Yi Chunfeng's sword soared into the air, mercilessly killing. The one-line sword light that exceeded the speed of light seemed to tear apart the void, leaving behind a deep sword scar as it stabbed into the fallen sun demonic palm. Immediately, a series of ear-piercing explosions rang out. The palm and sword light fiercely repelled each other in mid-air, and the concentrated explosions rang out incessantly. Bang bang bang. After that palm, the Black Demon Emperor struck out 3 more palms in succession. The terrifying fallen sun demonic palm overlapped and erupted with a power that could collapse mountains and tsunami. It directly shattered Yi Chunfeng's one-line sword slash and twisted a large area of the void to envelop Yi Chunfeng, wanting to shatter him. Fallen Soul Bell break. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Fallen Soul Bell. Borrowing its power, he resisted the destructive demonic power that surged like a tsunami, forming a series of deafening bell chimes. He broke the Black Demon Emperor's attack and counterattacked with all his might. Six-edged demonic pattern disc, demonic pattern attack. As the bell chimes formed by the fallen soul bell came, the Black Demon Emperor immediately controlled the demonic pattern valley's treasure, the quasi-saint treasure-level six-edged demonic pattern disc, to release a large number of black demonic patterns. Like beams of demonic light that traversed the universe, they shattered the terrifying bell chimes and continued to attack the fallen soul bell. Under the ferocious attacks of the six-edged demonic pattern disc, the fallen soul bell's attacks were constantly restrained, bringing great pressure to Yi Chunfeng. Kid, go to hell! The moment the fallen soul bell was forcibly shaken away by the six-edged demonic pattern disc, the Black Demon Emperor, whose demonic aura filled the sky, unleashed his killer move, Wu Luo Netherben. The Tao of Darkness and the Tao of Death instantly fused together, turning into a Wu Luo Netherben. Around the Wu Luo Netherben, torrential demonic aura flowed, dyeing the space black. Like a devouring black hole, it blasted toward Yi Chunfeng. Wu Luo Netherben was the #1 remarkable ability of the demonic pattern valley, and its power was extremely terrifying. Even the sun, moon, and stars dimmed under this attack, making Yi Chunfeng smell the threat of death. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-18. Sword Puppet. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet that had fused with 100 mid-grade heaven crystals and used it to block the Black Demon Emperor's Wu Luo Yu Ben. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Boom boom boom. The Wu Luo Yu Ben, which was like a black hole, bombarded the sword puppet's body. It was as if dozens of heavenly thunders had exploded at the same time, causing the space to tremble as waves of destructive power surged out in all directions like a tide. Who are you? Looking at the sword puppet that had mysteriously appeared and used its body to block the Wu Luo Yu Ben. While remaining unscathed, the Black Demon Emperor's eyes widened, revealing a look of intense shock. He could not believe that the sword puppet had blocked his first killing move with just its physical body. "The one who will kill you." The sword puppet opened its mouth and said without a trace of emotion. A dazzling sword light shot out from its body, as if it wanted to split the entire world apart. The sword slashed toward the Black Demon Emperor, whose expression had changed slightly. After fusing with 100 mid-grade heaven crystals, the sword puppet's strength had reached the limit of a 2-star Dao Saint. Coupled with its indestructible body, it was not something that the Black Demon Emperor could contend against. Left with no choice, the Black Demon Emperor could only rely on the hexagonal demonic pattern plate to block. "Sword puppet, end the battle quickly and kill him with all your might." Yi Chunfeng gave the sword puppet a kill order. Upon receiving Yi Chunfeng's order, the sword puppet's entire body surged with vast energy. It transformed into an invincible divine sword and slashed toward the Black Demon Emperor with invincible might. Hexagonal demonic pattern plate, exterminate. The sword puppet attacked like a hot knife through butter. The Black Demon Emperor controlled his powerful Dao energy and injected it into the hexagonal demonic pattern plate, triggering the demonic pattern plate's attack. It released a large number of black demonic patterns that densely attacked the sword puppet. Faced with the destructive attack of the hexagonal demonic pattern plate, the sword puppet did not dodge. The invincible divine sword that it had transformed into continuously slashed the black demonic patterns and heavily slashed the hexagonal demonic pattern plate. The terrifying sword might forcefully push the Black Demon Emperor back several meters. "Valley Master, we will help you." The white-haired old woman and her companion stabilized their injuries and flew into the void. They appeared beside the Black Demon Emperor and controlled the Tu Gu Dao treasure to attack the sword puppet fiercely. They wanted to combine the strength of the three to kill the sword puppet. "I'm your opponent." At this time, Yi Chunfeng appeared with his cloud stepping boots, holding onto the ice dragon sword. He attacked the two of them. Sword beams that were enough to slash the heavens and split the earth instantly suppressed their attacks. While Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet were engaged in a fierce battle with the Black Demon Emperor trio, Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue were also unleashing powerful Dao techniques one after another. They attacked the white-haired old woman and her brother ferociously, continuously aggravating their injuries. Retreat. The Black Demon Emperor used all of his skills and activated the demonic pattern power to maximize the power of the hexagonal demonic pattern plate. However, he was still unable to harm the sword puppet in the slightest. The white-haired old woman and her brother were even more severely injured and could not withstand the ferocious attacks of Yi Chunfeng trio. Helpless, the Black Demon Emperor and the white-haired old woman immediately retreated into the demonic pattern valley. Soul Fall Bell destroy. Yi Chunfeng and the others pursued closely, and they ceaselessly poured formidable Dao insight into the Soul Descent Bell to control it to ceaselessly grow in size and emit a bell chime that shook the heavens and the earth, and it destroyed everything in Devil Street Gorge. Large patches of ancient trees were reduced to dust, countless boulders cracked and shattered. Under the attack of the Soul Fall Bell, the picturesque demonic pattern valley suffered a calamity. Large patches of regions were turned into ruins. "Damn it, I swear I'm not human if I don't kill you." Seeing that the demonic pattern valley had been severely damaged, the Black Demon Emperor's heart was constantly bleeding. He did not expect Yi Chunfeng to be so ruthless and really want to destroy the demonic pattern valley. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Just as Yi Chunfeng's group of four chased after the Black Demon Emperor and the rest and arrived at a group of peaks that pierced the clouds in the depths of the demonic pattern valley, a cold killing intent flashed across the Black Demon Emperor's eyes. He took out a palm-sized formation plate. Then, he spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood consecutively onto the formation plate, activating the formation plate's power and fusing it into the chaotic cloud mountain range. The next moment, a terrifying formation diagram appeared in the chaotic Cloud Mountain range, directly trapping Yi Chunfeng and the rest in it. Do you really think that my demonic pattern valley is easy to bully? After being trapped in my demonic pattern valley's ancient formation that has been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years, no matter how powerful you are, you can forget about coming out alive. Having successfully lured Yi Chunfeng's group of 4 into the ancient formation, the Black Demon Emperor revealed a sinister smile. All of you, go to hell. With that, the Black Demon Emperor activated the ancient formation that the ancestors of the demonic pattern valley had spent countless years and a great deal of effort to set up, killing Yi Chunfeng and the rest. Senior Jiang, Senior Xing, don't resist. Trapped in the ancient formation, the God-Eater brain, which was performing high-speed deductions, sensed that this ancient formation was extremely powerful and contained a power that was enough to kill Nirvana's powerhouses. Without hesitation, it sent Kong Sungchen and the rest into the universe realm. The instant Yi Chunfeng and the rest disappeared, a large amount of destructive killing light fell from the rapidly rotating formation diagram like meteors, bombarding the entire space. For a moment, the entire space fell into chaos. However, the defensive power of the universe realm was too terrifying. This extremely powerful ancient formation could not break through the defense of the universe realm at all. Qingfeng, you actually have a spatial treasure. After entering the universe realm and seeing the beautiful environment inside, Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue opened their eyes wide, revealing disbelief. Spatial treasures were only passed down in legends, and they had never seen one before. They did not expect that Yi Chunfeng actually had one. I found this spatial treasure in an ancient ruin. Yi Chunfeng vaguely explained, let's go and see Senior White. Yi Chunfeng was not worried that the defense of the universe realm would be broken. He brought Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue to find Bai Feng, who was in a deep coma. Qingfeng, do you have a way to heal Bai Feng's injuries? Although Bai Feng's life was not in danger, his injuries were too serious. His foundation was damaged, and it was very likely that it would affect his cultivation of the Nirvana realm. No problem. Yi Chunfeng took out a ball of life spirit that could bring people back from the dead and fused it with Bai Feng's body, which was full of scars. Many parts of his body revealed white bones, healing his seriously injured body. Well, Senior Bai Feng's injuries should not be too serious. For the next few days, you two seniors can stay here and cultivate. Leave the matters outside to me. After fusing with the life spirit, Bai Feng's injuries healed at an extremely fast speed. Yi Chunfeng felt relieved and said slowly, Qingfeng, do you have a way to break that ancient formation outside? Xing Biue, who was wearing a dark blue martial arts suit and had a full figure and a mature charm, asked softly. Yes, the might of that ancient formation is indeed not small, but I have a way to break it. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said with a confident smile. The attacks of the ancient formation were getting stronger and stronger. The entire space was torn apart by the attacks of the ancient formation, and a large number of cracks appeared. However, the impregnable universe realm was not affected in the slightest, and completely withstood the attacks of the ancient formation. Damn, could that brat be a prince of the Kirin kingdom? How could he even have a spatial treasure? Sensing that Yi Chunfeng and the rest had strangely disappeared in the ancient formation, the Black Demon Emperor immediately guessed the reason, and his face became incomparably gloomy. Demon Emperor, if that brat is really a prince of the Kirin kingdom, we will very likely incur the revenge of the Kirin royal family for dealing with him like this. The white-haired old woman said with some worry. I must obtain the golden fiery lotus, and I will not allow it to slip away from my hands. As for this brat, he must die. I don't believe that the people of the Kirin kingdom can do whatever they want in my Yamata divine nation. The Black Demon Emperor's eyes flickered with dense killing intent. He had made up his mind to kill Yi Chunfeng, not only to obtain the golden fiery lotus, but more importantly, to obtain the treasures on Yi Chunfeng's body, especially the spatial treasure. He had a feeling that if he could obtain Yi Qinfeng's great opportunity, he would definitely be able to break through to the Nirvana heavenly realm and become the most invincible existence in the central world. Mobile reading home, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12-19. Spiritual Fish, Stop Suppressing Your Realm and Quickly Attract Heaven's Punishment. The spiritual fish was only a level 3 combat beast emperor. After fusing with the true god's blood, her strength had already reached the limit of her realm. If it wasn't for the fact that Yi Qinfeng didn't want the Heavenly Palace's people to know about the spiritual fish's secret, he would have let her attract heaven's punishment and break through to a higher realm. Good. The spiritual fish nodded and stopped suppressing her realm. She tried her best to break through to the level 4 combat beast emperor realm. While the spiritual fish was trying her best to break through, Yi Qinfeng consumed another sacred pill. With the help of the sacred pill, he broke through to the level 5 combat beast emperor realm. Although the might of the Devil Mark Valley's ancient formation was terrifying, Yi Qinfeng had thought of the most direct and simplest way to break it. That was, he and the spirit fish would both summon the heavenly punishment and borrow the might of the heavenly punishment to break the ancient formation. Although this method was simple, it was extremely risky. Any slight discomfort could cause an accident. However, Yi Qinfeng and the spiritual fish had a strong foundation, especially the spiritual fish. She had refined a drop of the true god's blood in her body. With the help of this drop of true god's blood and the heaven-defying bloodline shadow, they could definitely pass through heaven's punishment in the ancient formation. So cold. After consuming the second saint pellet, Yi Qinfeng discovered that the medicinal energy contained in this saint pellet was completely different from the saint pellet he had consumed before. The medicinal energy contained in this saint pellet was bone-chilling, and it kept freezing his body and internal organs. Sacred burning flame, cold qi. When Yi Qinfeng felt that he could not withstand the corrosive power of the cold medicine, he hurriedly spread the sacred burning flame all over his body, continuously dispelling the corrosive power of the cold medicine. He refined the sacred pill and tried his best to break through to the 5th grade beast emperor realm. Just as Yi Qinfeng was enduring the cold power to refine the sacred pill, the spiritual fish that was fusing with the true god's blood felt its heaven's punishment. Big brother Qinfeng, my heaven's punishment is about to descend. Quickly let me out. Unable to suppress her realm, the spiritual fish sent a voice transmission to Yi Qinfeng with beads of sweat on its forehead. All right, be careful. I will ask the sword puppet to protect you. Yi Qinfeng nodded and sent the spiritual fish and the sword puppet out of the universe realm. Rumble. The moment the spirit fish left the universe realm, the terrifying heavenly punishment immediately sensed her aura. Rolling dark clouds surged in from all directions like surging waves. They quickly gathered above the ancient strange formation, forming a terrifying tribulation cloud. Endless gales gushed out from the tribulation clouds, engulfing the entire world, uprooting large patches of ancient trees. The entire Black Demon Mountain was in chaos. Heavenly punishment? Why would heavenly punishment suddenly appear? Could it be that those people had no other choice and wanted to borrow the power of heavenly punishment to break the ancient formation that had been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years in Demon Pattern Valley? Looking at the tribulation clouds churning violently in the sky and gathering thicker and thicker, the Black Demon Emperor guessed the reason. However, he simply did not believe that Yi Qinfeng and the others could successfully survive the heavenly punishment and break through under the ferocious attacks of the ancient formation. Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. As he spoke, the Black Demon Emperor, through the control of the formation plate, constantly mobilized the ancient wondrous formation and fiercely attacked the spirit fish and sword puppet that appeared in the formation. Terrifying formation patterns descended from the sky like violent thunderbolts. The sword puppet immediately used its indestructible body to block the spirit fish's head, resisting the attacks of the ancient wondrous formation. Under the protection of the sword puppet, the spirit fish used all its strength to refine the blood of the true God, rapidly increasing its strength and causing the power of heavenly punishment in the sky to grow stronger and stronger. Rumble, as the spirit fish's strength grew stronger and stronger, it was only a step away from breaking through to the fourth-class Beast Emperor realm. Earth-shattering thunderclaps resounded from the violently churning tribulation clouds. Endless blood-red violent thunderbolts broke through the several hundred feet thick tribulation clouds like the punishment of doomsday, bombarding Yi Chunfeng, who was trapped in the ancient wondrous formation. Ancient wondrous formation, open! The instant the blood-red violent thunderbolts appeared, the Black Demon Emperor opened a gap in the ancient wondrous formation in time, allowing the blood-red tribulation thunderbolts to bombard the spirit fish. Sword puppet return. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng teleported the sword puppet back to the universe mirror. Then, he multitasked. On one hand, he used all his strength to refine the heavenly punishment and break through to the fifth-class Beast Emperor realm. On the other hand, he used the universe mirror to observe the situation of the spirit fish's tribulation. As the blood-red heavenly punishment descended, the spirit fish let out an inhuman roar. Her petite body kept growing bigger and bigger, instantly bursting out of her clothes. She turned into a golden-eyed divine ape that was more than 10 feet tall, covered in golden fur, with a body as strong as a mountain. Her bell-sized eyes emitted a dazzling golden light as she endured the baptism of the blood-red heavenly punishment. Boom, boom, boom! Countless thunderbolts exploded on the surface of the golden-eyed divine ape that the spirit fish had transformed into, crazily destroying her body. Although the power of the blood-red heavenly punishment was extremely terrifying, even more so than the heavenly punishment of a sixth-class Beast Emperor expert, after refining the true God's blood, the spirit fish's body had increased to an unimaginable level. Relying on the golden-eyed divine ape's powerful body, she easily resisted the blood-red heavenly punishment. Under the baptism of the heavenly punishment, the energy in her body and the true God's blood were refined. As the fusion between the spirit fish and the true God's blood became more and more complete, the second bloodline in her body grew stronger and stronger, showing signs of awakening. Divine ape? Why did a divine ape appear in the ancient strange formation? Seeing the spirit fish transform into a golden-eyed divine ape and easily resist the blood-red heavenly punishment, the Black Demon Emperor and the other two opened their eyes wide as huge waves surged in their hearts. Ancient strange formation, destroy it for me! The Black Demon Emperor took a deep breath and suppressed the shock in his heart. He continuously controlled the ancient strange formation to form a large number of attack formation patterns, bombarding the spirit fish from all angles, wanting to kill her in one fell swoop. After being continuously attacked by the strange formation, the spirit fish continued to let out furious roars. Her mountain-like body constantly erupted with shocking power, using the blood-red heavenly punishment that was bombarding her to tear apart the attack formation patterns. However, the power of the ancient strange formation was too terrifying. After being attacked by the dense formation patterns, the injuries on her body continued to worsen. Many parts of her body were badly mutilated. Boom, boom, boom! Just as the spirit fish ignored the injuries on her body and used all her strength to resist the blood-red heavenly punishment and the attacks of the strange formation patterns, a second heavenly punishment descended from the violently tumbling tribulation clouds. Several thousand streaks of blood-red heavenly punishment descended at the same time, turning into a blood-red tornado in the void. It shredded a large area of space and entered the ancient strange formation. The instant it shredded the attacking strange formation patterns, it directly swallowed the spirit fish. Gulp! Just what is the origin of that divine ape? How did it attract such a terrifying heavenly punishment? Looking at the whirlpool-like blood-red heavenly punishment, the silver-haired old man could not help but gulp, revealing a look of deep shock. Under the attacks of the blood-red heavenly punishment, the spirit fish's injuries continued to worsen. Under the attacks of the blood-red heavenly punishment, the entire ancient strange formation was also madly depleting its energy. Feeling the control formation plate in his hand trembling more and more violently, the Black Demon Emperor's face turned extremely gloomy. The thought of shutting down the ancient strange formation sprouted in his mind. However, thinking that the disappearance of the ancient strange formation would most likely give Yi Chunfeng and the others a chance to escape. At the thought of the golden petal fire lotus and the spatial treasure Yi Chunfeng possessed, the Black Demon Emperor gritted his teeth and decided to kill Yi Chunfeng and the others at all costs. Just as the Black Demon Emperor ignored the consumption of the ancient strange formation and continued to control the formation to kill the spirit fish, whose divine ape body was blasted into a bloody mess, on the brink of death, finally merged with the blood of the true God. The next moment, the terrifying blood shadow of the true God emerged from the spirit fish's body. With the sky above its head and the earth beneath its feet, it carried endless divine light on its back and released a power that could destroy everything, forcibly tearing apart the terrifying heavenly punishment whirlpool. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:20. What kind of shadow is that? Looking at the true God blood shadow that emerged from the spiritual fish and tore through the heavenly punishment vortex, the Black Demon Emperor and the rest almost had their eyeballs fall out. Watermark advertisement test. Although they were very far away from the true God blood shadow, they could still clearly feel the terror of the true God blood shadow. These people must be eliminated, or they will be a huge threat to my demonic pattern valley. The Black Demon Emperor made up his mind and controlled the ancient formation to attack the spiritual fish at all costs. When the Black Demon Emperor controlled the ancient formation to attack with all his might, the rolling tribulation clouds began to spin rapidly. A large number of beast shadows appeared in the tribulation clouds. These beast shadows included true dragons, vermilion birds, black tortoises, and cheelans. The terrifying beast aura shook the heavens and the earth, causing the entire demonic pattern valley to tremble violently. Even the Black Demon Emperor of Nirvana felt a trace of fear. 100 Beast Calamity. Looking at the beast shadows that appeared in the tribulation clouds, the Black Demon Emperor immediately recognized that this was the legendary 100 Beast Calamity. Only the appearance of extremely powerful demons or demonic beasts that defied the heavens would send down such a punishment to destroy them. When the Chaos Divine Beast broke through to the Sacred Beast realm, it also attracted the 100 Beast Calamity. However, the 100 Beast Calamity attracted by the spiritual fish did not have the power of the world, so it was inferior to the 100 Beast Calamity attracted by the Chaos Divine Beast. Under the true God blood shadow's rapid recovery, the spiritual fish's injuries recovered rapidly. She looked up at the sky and saw the divine beast shadows that appeared in the tribulation clouds without a trace of fear on her face. Howl, 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 howl. A series of intimidating beast roars rang out as a large number of divine beast phantoms leaped down from the rolling tribulation clouds. With a daunting beast aura, they attacked the spiritual fish. When the true dragon shadow at the forefront was about to hit the spiritual fish, the terrifying true God blood shadow threw a punch. The terrifying fist radiance exploded the void and smashed onto the true dragon shadow. Boom! The true dragon's shadow trembled violently, and its huge body was blasted apart by the true God blood shadow's punch. Then, the true God blood shadow continued to attack, erupting with shocking offensive power. shattering the divine beast shadows that were descending from the sky one after another. A large number of divine beast shadows were blown apart and turned into pure heavenly punishment energy spread in the void. At this time, the spiritual fish released a powerful suction force was directly devouring the heavenly punishment energy to transform its body and charged towards the fourth-grade beast emperor realm. Ancient strange formation, destroy it! Just as the spiritual fish was about to break through to the level 4 beast emperor realm, a large number of strange formation runes once again attacked the spiritual fish from all directions. They wanted to destroy her body the moment she broke through. At the critical moment, a broken formation map appeared in the Qiankuan realm. Under the control of Yi Qinfeng's mind, it turned into layers of defensive walls, helping the spiritual fish to resist the attack of the strange formation patterns. And this broken formation map was what Yi Qinfeng had exchanged from the Tao addict. Although he was not in a hurry to repair this broken formation map, the power of this broken formation map was still terrifying, enough to withstand the attack of the strange formation inscriptions for a short time. Level 4 Beast Emperor, breakthrough amidst the crisis. The spiritual fish finally broke through the bottleneck and became a level 4 Beast Emperor. With the increase in realm, the spiritual fish's strength increased tremendously. However, the rapidly rotating tribulation clouds did not have any intention of dispersing. They continued to condense terrifying divine beast shadows and continued to attack the spiritual fish, wanting to kill the spiritual fish that had fused with the blood of the true God. The spiritual fish quickly moved 11 meters to the northwest, where the core of the ancient strange formation was. When the spiritual fish broke through, the God-Eater brain, which was rapidly deducing the location of the core of the ancient strange formation, trembled violently when it was attacked and found the location of the core. Okay. The spiritual fish nodded and moved 11 meters to the northwest while enduring the great tribulation of 100 beasts. It appeared on the core of the ancient strange formation and resisted the fatal attack of the great tribulation of 100 beasts. As the attacks of the great tribulation of 100 beasts became more and more violent, the pressure on the ancient strange formation also increased. As the energy of the formation foundation was depleted, a large number of cracks appeared in the ancient strange formation. More importantly, the core of the ancient strange formation was damaged by the remaining power of the great tribulation of 100 beasts. This made the Black Demon Emperor anxious. Once the ancient strange formation was broken, it would be an immeasurable loss to the Devil Pattern Valley. They would also lose the means to trap Yi Qinfeng and the others. Just as the Black Demon Emperor was burning with anxiety and hesitating whether to close the ancient strange formation, the blood shadow of the true God, who had destroyed the divine beast shadows with a single punch, suddenly attacked the core of the ancient strange formation under the spiritual fish's control. Under the attack of the blood shadow of the true God, the core of the ancient strange formation was severely damaged. The power of the ancient strange formation plummeted, and could no longer break through the defensive wall formed by the ancient map fragments. 2 Grand Elders, quickly gather all the experts of the Devil Pattern Valley. No matter what, we must not let these people leave the Devil Pattern Valley alive. The Black Demon Emperor took a deep breath and secretly made up his mind. It was the Demon Emperor. The two of them nodded and immediately gathered the experts of the Devil Pattern Valley. They also brought along many offensive supreme treasures and sealed the entire space. They were waiting for the spiritual fish's heavenly punishment to disperse so that they could deal a fatal blow to her. While the spiritual fish was resisting the terrifying great tribulation of 100 beasts with the help of the true God's bloodline, Yi Qinfeng, who was constantly refining the sacred pills, also felt the aura of the heavenly punishment. He began to suppress his realm and waited for the spiritual fish's heavenly punishment to disperse before using his own heavenly punishment to destroy the Devil Pattern Valley in one fell swoop. After refining a large amount of heavenly punishment energy, the spiritual items of heaven and earth that the spiritual fish had devoured were constantly refined. The energy contained in the true God's bloodline was also madly fusing into her body, increasing her strength. Under the protection of the blood shadow of the true God, the spiritual fish withstood the great tribulation of 100 beasts for a day and a night. Her strength had also increased tremendously and was only a step away from breaking through to the 5th grade Beast Emperor realm. The ancient mystic formation had been attacked by the great tribulation of 100 beasts for a long time and had long been damaged beyond recognition. Left with no other choice, the Black Demon Emperor closed the severely damaged ancient mystic formation. "Just you wait, I swear I will crush your bones and scatter your ashes." The ashen-faced Black Demon Emperor kept swearing in his heart. He was waiting for the great tribulation of 100 beasts to disperse so that he could give the spiritual fish the fatal blow. Just as the Black Demon Emperor and the others sealed the space and waited patiently, the great tribulation of 100 beasts that had lasted for a day and a night was about to come to an end. The most fatal blow was delivered to the spiritual fish. The power of the tribulation cloud was completely drained in an instant. The flashing silhouettes of different forms of beasts fiercely bombarded the blood shadow of the true God, which was full of cracks. They forcibly exploded and bombarded the spiritual fish, who was on the verge of breaking through. God's regret fist at this moment, the spiritual fish borrowed the power of the 2 great bloodlines in her body and continuously bombarded the last great tribulation of 100 beasts with doomsday-like God-shocking fists. She forcibly weakened the power of the last great tribulation of 100 beasts and used the endless pressure to break through to the 5th grade Beast Emperor realm. The spiritual fish did not know how many punches she had delivered. When she felt that the power in her body was about to be exhausted and her 2 great bloodlines became weak, the surging energy in her body finally broke through the bottleneck and broke through to the 5th grade Beast Emperor realm. With the breakthrough in realm, the spiritual fish's great tribulation of 100 beasts and the terrifying heavenly punishment disappeared at the same time. The chaotic space gradually regained its calm. Attack the moment the spiritual fish passed the heavenly punishment, the Black Demon Emperor and the others immediately launched an attack on the spiritual fish. They wanted to kill her while her body was at its weakest. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:21. Suddenly, the spiritual fish that had survived the 100 beast tribulation and broken through to grade 5 combat Beast Emperor disappeared. Hundreds of destructive attacks landed on the universe mirror at the same time. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. The universe mirror was a relic left behind by the demon god. It had the miraculous ability to travel between realms. The attacks launched by the Black Demon Emperor and the others were unable to break through its defense. Spiritual fish, heal yourself properly. Leave the rest to me. Looking at the spiritual fish that was covered in blood and wounds, but whose blood and chi were surging like waves, Yi Chunfeng said to the spiritual fish that was on the verge of breaking through, "Okay, brother Chungfeng, avenge me." The pale, bloodless spirit fish revealed 2 cute dimples as it nodded its head and said. After speaking, the spiritual fish swallowed an expensive heaven and earth spirit grass and breathed in the rich heaven and earth spirit chi within the universe mirror. It healed its injuries and stabilized its realm after breaking through. Demon Pattern Valley, it's time to give you the final blow and destroy you. The ancient mysterious formation was almost destroyed by the spiritual fish's heavenly punishment. To Yi Chunfeng, it was no longer a threat. Yi Chunfeng was prepared to use his heavenly punishment to completely destroy Demon Pattern Valley. He would break their foundation and give them the most painful revenge. Damn it, it's gone again. Looking at the spiritual fish that had suddenly disappeared and dodged a calamity, the Black Demon Emperor flew into a rage and roared furiously, "Don't stop for me! Continue attacking for me! Break the defense of that space treasure and kill those people. Boom. Boom. The experts of Demon Pattern Valley controlled their Dao treasures and Gu Dao treasures to attack the hidden space of the universe mirror, wanting to break its defense. However, they continued to attack for more than 2 hours, breaking the hidden space of the universe mirror. They were unable to shake the universe mirror in the slightest. However, the Black Demon Emperor and the others did not give up. They continued to attack, determined to break the universe mirror and kill Yi Chunfeng and the others. Suddenly, a figure flew out of the universe mirror. It faced the terrifying Dao treasures and Gu Dao treasures and attacked the experts of Demon Pattern Valley. Kill him! Seeing the appearance of the sword puppet, the Black Demon Emperor and the others immediately changed their target to the sword puppet. However, the sword puppet was indestructible. Relying on its invincible defense, it kept repelling the attacking Dao treasures. The Gu Dao treasure approached the Devil Rune Valley experts, who had turned pale with fright. It burst out with shocking sword intent and launched a crazy counterattack. Numerous lotus-like sword lights split apart within the sword puppet's body, and a vast sword aura enveloped the entire space. Unstoppable, it rapidly reaped the lives of the experts from Devil Rune Valley. Six-sided demonic pattern plate destroy. Seeing the experts of Demonic Pattern Valley being killed by the sword puppet one after another, the enraged Black Demon Emperor immediately sprayed a large amount of blood essence into the hexagonal demonic pattern plate, activating the offensive power of the demonic pattern plate and ruthlessly bombarding the body of the sword puppet. The sword puppet did not dodge the attacks of the quasi-sage treasure hexagonal demonic pattern plate. It allowed the demonic pattern plate to bombard its body, and continued to kill the experts from Devil Rune Valley. Soon, the defensive line of the experts from Devil Rune Valley was broken by the indestructible sword puppet, and they were unable to seal off the entire space. Suddenly, Yi Chunfeng, who had been waiting for an opportunity, appeared. The moment he appeared, the void, which had just regained its light, was suddenly covered by rolling dark clouds. Amidst the rolling dark clouds, tens of thousands of streaks of lightning flashed, like electric snakes dancing wildly, venting endless power. The deafening sound of thunder constantly shook everyone's eardrums. For a moment, the entire void fell into chaos again, as if doomsday had arrived. Heavenly punishment, a heavenly punishment again. The Black Demon Emperor, who was controlling the hexagonal demonic pattern plate and attacking the sword puppet with all his strength, saw the tribulation cloud appear in the sky again. His heart sank to the bottom, and a trace of panic appeared in his calm heart. Ignore this person and quickly kill the person who attracted a heavenly punishment. The Black Demon Emperor quickly changed his target, wanting to control the hexagonal demonic pattern plate to attack Yi Chunfeng. 1. The sword puppet transformed its body into a sword, turning into a crescent sword arc stirring up endless sword intent. It slashed at the Black Demon Emperor, leaving him with no time to divert his attention. The sword puppet burned a large amount of energy for this attack, and its might was terrifying beyond belief. It made the Black Demon Emperor feel as if he was facing an ocean of fury, and had no choice but to control the hexagonal demonic pattern plate to defend with all his might. The sword puppet relied on its powerful attack to entangle the strongest Black Demon Emperor, while the white-haired old woman and the others launched attacks at Yi Chunfeng one after another. Ancient Incomplete Map Defense. Yi Chunfeng moved his mind, and the ancient incomplete map appeared on his body, turning into layers of defensive formation walls around him, blocking the fierce attacks of the white-haired old woman and the others. He released a powerful force without holding back, charging towards the 5th-grade combat Beast Emperor realm. Yi Chunfeng had consumed 2 divine pills to charge towards the 5th-grade combat Beast Emperor realm. In addition, he had refined a large amount of precious treasures earlier on, so his strength had long surpassed the limits of his realm. He had violated the laws of heaven and earth, and attracted a heavenly punishment to kill him. Rumble, as the power in Yi Qinfeng's body grew stronger and stronger, the lightning flashing in the rolling dark clouds also grew denser and denser. It was as if a sea of lightning had appeared in the entire void, a terrifying scene that was terrifying. Oh no, heavenly punishment is about to descend. Everyone, retreat. Sensing that the power of heavenly punishment contained in the tribulation clouds was growing stronger and had locked onto everyone in the tribulation zone, the white-haired old woman and the others trembled in their hearts. They no longer dared to attack Yi Qinfeng, and retreated one after another, pushing out of the tribulation zone. Sword puppet, return. Yi Qinfeng moved his mind, and recalled the sword puppet that was fighting fiercely with the Black Demon Emperor into the universe realm. He continued to refine the divine pills in his body, which still had more than half of their medicinal efficacy left, and continued to raise his strength. Finally, 81 terrifying blood-red lightning bolts broke through the violently rolling tribulation clouds, like a bloody waterfall, and bombarded Yi Qinfeng, who was sitting cross-legged. They wanted to kill Yi Qinfeng, who had violated the laws of heaven and earth. Ancient map fragment, withdraw. Yi Qinfeng moved his mind, and withdrew the ancient map fragment that was protecting his body into his body. He stimulated the power of his 5 major acupoints, and raised his strength to 100 million Jin, to resist the 81 blood-red lightning bolts. Rumble. The 81 blood-red lightning bolts collided with Yi Qinfeng's 100 million Jin of strength, and the entire void was immediately thrown into chaos. All sound in the world was swallowed up, and the terrifying collision formed a terrifying shockwave, violently exploding in mid-air. Countless rocks were reduced to dust, and several mountains that reached into the clouds were cracked, as if they could break at any time. Relying on his powerful physical strength to resist the 81 blood-red lightning bolts, Yi Qinfeng circulated the soul-devouring art at high speed, refining the pure power of heavenly punishment into his body. He borrowed the power of heavenly punishment to refine the medicinal efficacy in his body, and charged into the realm of 5th-class Beast Emperor. Rumble. When Yi Qinfeng completely resisted the 81 blood-red lightning bolts, thousands of lightning bolts gathered in the thick tribulation clouds, forming a huge lightning meteor. It left the tribulation clouds, and with a terrifying force bombarded Yi Qinfeng. Heaven and Earth Tao Diagram, Life and Death Tao Diagram. As the lightning meteor attacked, Yi Qinfeng immediately condensed 2 Tao diagrams, and gathered them in his fists to resist the lightning meteor's attack. Rumble. The lightning meteor was forcibly split open by Yi Qinfeng's fists, which had fused with the 2 Tao diagrams. The destructive power of the lightning meteor's explosion was unable to harm Yi Qinfeng's foundation, as he relied on his powerful physical body to resist it. Demonic Rune Valley, let me give you a big gift. Yi Qinfeng, who was bathed in lightning, let out an arrogant roar, and charged towards the demonic Rune Valley's main palace, bringing with him a terrifying heavenly punishment. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:22. Not good. When the Black Demon Emperor, who was hiding in the distance, saw Yi Qinfeng rushing toward the main hall with divine punishment, his heart trembled. He immediately activated the layers of restrictions outside the main hall, wanting to prevent Yi Qinfeng from entering. Once the main hall was destroyed, the hundreds of thousands of years of foundation of the demonic Pattern Valley would be destroyed, and the spirit vein source of the demonic Pattern Valley might even be destroyed. He could not bear such a loss. Rumble. Thunderbolts and meteors broke through the rolling tribulation clouds, constantly bombarding Yi Qinfeng. Under the destructive power released by the explosion of a large number of thunderbolts and meteors, the layers of restrictions were torn apart. Yi Qinfeng was constantly approaching the main hall of the demonic Pattern Valley. Damn it, I swear I won't be human if I don't kill you." The Black Demon Emperor glared with his blood-red eyes, disregarding his own safety as he blocked the entrance of the majestic and palace-like main hall. He continuously injected Tao energy into the hexagonal demonic pattern plate, controlling the demonic pattern plate to wildly release destructive demonic patterns to attack Yi Chunfeng, wanting to prevent him from entering the main hall. Sword Puppet Block. The Black Demon Emperor was after all a mighty figure of nirvana. The attacks he launched with the hexagonal demonic pattern disc were extremely terrifying. Yi Chunfeng did not dare to let the demonic patterns that pierced through the void attack his body, and immediately summoned the sword puppet to block. Rumble. Because the Black Demon Emperor was too strong, the power of the lightning mountains attacking him was several times greater than that of Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng's expression changed greatly, and he did not dare to take it head-on. He had no choice but to flee outside the tribulation area. Bloodline of the Fiend God, Ignite. Facing the attack of the lightning mountains, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to ignite his Fiend God bloodline, instantly increasing the defense and strength of his physical body. Erupting with a strength of 200 million Jin, he took on the destructive attack of the lightning mountains head-on. Although the Black Demon Emperor had escaped from the tribulation zone, the huge lightning mountain that had attacked him had landed heavily behind him, on the most powerful restriction that enveloped the Mageweth main hall. For a time, a sea of lightning appeared in the sky above Devil Rune Valley's main hall. The surging power of lightning struck fear into the hearts of the Devil Rune Valley's experts who were hiding in the distance. Many of the weaker Devil Rune Valley disciples coughed up blood and collapsed to the ground. Under the destructive attack of the lightning mountain, the restrictive barrier that enveloped the demonic pattern palace continued to crack and crack. The mountains and the earth continued to tremble. Many mountain peaks were shattered and destroyed by the terrifying aftershock. When the restriction of the demonic pattern main hall was forcibly torn open by the explosive power of the giant Thunder Mountain, the quasi-holy treasure Golden-Winged Feather appeared behind Yi Chunfeng. With a flash of golden light, Yi Chunfeng passed through the attack of the destructive Thunder Mountains and flew into the Magic Rune's main hall. Not good. Run. A large number of Devil Rune Valley disciples hiding in the main hall were scared out of their wits when they saw Yi Chunfeng pass through the restrictive barrier and fly in. They desperately fled out of the main hall. Although they reacted very quickly, the power of Yi Chunfeng's heavenly punishment was too terrifying. After being attacked by the remnant power of the Thunder Mountain annihilation, there were still many disciples whose bodies exploded and died. The demonic pattern palace that the ancestors of the demonic pattern valley spent a great deal of effort to build after countless years trembled violently, cracks appearing all over it. Please be merciful. It is my Devil Rune Valley's fault this time. Please be magnanimous and don't destroy my Devil Rune Valley's main hall. Seeing the heavenly punishment constantly attacking the main hall, the powerless Black Demon Emperor despaired. He had no choice but to lower his noble head and humbly send a voice transmission to Yi Chunfeng, begging for his forgiveness. Yi Chunfeng was never merciful to his enemies. He ignored the Black Demon Emperor's pleas and continued to trigger the terrifying heavenly punishment to destroy the majestic main hall. At this time, tens of thousands of blood-colored thunderbolts gathered from the tribulation clouds and turned into a thunder mountain. Like a descending star domain, it fell toward Yi Chunfeng, wanting to destroy him. Boom, boom, boom. Under the destruction of the Thunder Mountain, the dazzling demonic pattern main hall was blasted apart and smashed toward Yi Chunfeng, who was standing in the middle of the main hall. Spirit Pearl of Death, break! Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and activated the power of the Spirit Pearl of Death in his Shinmen acupoint. He constantly blasted out fist radiance filled with the power of death, shaking the Thunder Mountain and forcefully weakening its power. Under Yi Chunfeng's all-out attack, tens of thousands of lightning radiances exploded in the main hall, annihilating it like raging waves. Damn it, I swear I'll kill you no matter where I go. Seeing the demonic pattern main hall destroyed by the terrifying Thunder Mountain, the hearts of the Black Demon Emperor and the others were bleeding. Like an angry lion, they constantly roared. The Black Demon Emperor would never have dreamed that things would develop like this. If he had foreseen such an outcome, perhaps he would have bought the golden petal fire lotus directly instead of forcefully snatching it. One after another, huge lightning mountains fell. Yi Chunfeng was like an undying god of war. He used all of his skills to shake off the attacks of the huge lightning mountains. Under his ferocious attacks, the main peak of Black Demon Mountain was razed to the ground. The Black Demon Emperor and the others who were hiding in the distance could only see endless flashes of lightning and the main peak sinking continuously. They could no longer see any trace of Yi Chunfeng. Strike him fiercely, it's best if you can strike him to death. At this time, the Black Demon Emperor could only pray that Yi Chunfeng's heavenly punishment would be stronger and strike Yi Chunfeng to death. That way, he would be able to obtain Yi Chunfeng's treasures and more or less make up for today's losses. Dragon's Pine's sacred sword Yi Chunfeng summoned the 4 great Tao diagrams and fought with the Thunder Mountains barehanded for most of the day. His injuries began to worsen. He quickly ignited his dragon bloodline and celestial bloodline, summoned the Dragon's Pine's sacred sword that he had personally refined, and continued to resist the attacks of the Thunder Mountains. With the Dragon's Pine's sacred sword in hand, Yi Chunfeng's attack power increased rapidly. Under the amplification of the bronze sword soul, the towering Thunder Mountains were directly cleaved apart by him, turning into an endless sea of lightning. Just a little more and I'll break through. Under the terrifying baptism of heavenly punishment, Yi Chunfeng's speed of refining the sacred elixir's medicinal efficacy became faster and faster. He was only a step away from breaking through to the 5th grade combat beast emperor. And the 4 great Tao diagrams, under the baptism of heavenly punishment, constantly increased the power of Tao intent. Once Yi Chunfeng passed through this extreme lightning heavenly punishment, his comprehension of Tao intent was bound to rise to another level. Boom boom 2 Thunder Mountains suddenly appeared in the tribulation clouds, one above and one below, striking the most fatal blow toward Yi Chunfeng. Qiankuan sword formation, Qiankuan strike facing the 2 Thunder Mountains. Yi Chunfeng, who was seriously injured, did not dare to be careless. He decisively summoned all 81 top-grade Tao swords and merged them with the Dragon's Pine sacred sword, forming a Qiankuan giant sword that was dozens of feet tall. Fusing with the power of the bronze sword soul and the 4 great Tao diagrams, it slashed towards the Thunder Mountains. In that instant, the chaotic void was cleaved into 2. Wherever the sword light passed, deep sword scars would appear. It directly cleaved one of the Thunder Mountains into 2, blocking the 2nd Thunder Mountain. 5th grade combat beast emperor, breakthrough under such heavy pressure, Yi Chunfeng finally took the last step and broke through to the 5th grade combat beast emperor realm. The moment he broke through, Yi Chunfeng mobilized all the power in his body, erupting with a power that could destroy heaven and earth, destroying the 2nd Thunder Mountain. His sword broke through the violently tumbling tribulation clouds, creating a huge hole in the tribulation clouds, destroying the remaining heavenly punishment. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:23. Kill him. As the divine punishment dispersed, the Black Demon Emperor and the others, whose eyes were bloodshot and hearts were bleeding, roared and charged at Yi Chunfeng, wanting to kill him to vent their anger. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. After passing the divine punishment, Yi Chunfeng had almost exhausted all his strength. He did not linger and quickly entered the universe realm, not giving the Black Demon Emperor and the others a chance to attack him, causing all their attacks to miss. Congratulations to young Master Yi for breaking through to the level 5 combat Beast Emperor realm. Sensing that Yi Chunfeng had broken through to the level 5 combat Beast Emperor realm, and his strength had increased by more than 10 times, the Marquis of Qianming and the others immediately went up to congratulate him. Get ready, wait for me to consolidate my realm, then we will kill our way out and destroy the demonic Pattern Valley. After speaking, Yi Chunfeng sat cross-legged on the ground, controlling the spiritual pearl of life to heal his serious injuries while controlling the God-Eater brain to deduce the Tao will contained in the divine punishment. Demon Emperor, that person's spatial treasure's defense is too terrifying. With our attacks, I'm afraid we can't break through the defense. We have to think of other ways to deal with him. The white-haired old woman with a gloomy expression appeared beside the Black Demon Emperor and whispered, "Yes, this person must be eliminated, or our demonic Pattern Valley will become the laughing stock of the world." The Black Demon Emperor nodded and said, "Seal the space, don't let them escape. I'll go get the demon soul ancestor." Time passed day by day. After 4 days of seclusion, Yi Chunfeng consolidated his level 5 combat Beast Emperor realm. With the help of the God-Eater brain, he integrated the Tao will he comprehended from the divine punishment, increasing the power of the 4 Tao diagrams. He also cultivated the illusion Tao will to perfection and formed the illusion Tao diagram. Everyone get ready, follow me to destroy the demonic Pattern Valley. Yi Chunfeng took out several thin human skins and handed them to the Marquis of Qianming, Mo Fengyun, and the others, asking them to cover their faces and wait for his summons. "Sword puppet, let's go out." Yi Chunfeng willed and brought the sword puppet out of the universe realm, appearing above the ruined demonic pattern main hall. "You finally came out." Seeing Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet suddenly appear, the Black Demon Emperor said with a ferocious gaze did not immediately attack. "Black Demon Emperor, I wonder if you like the gift I gave you?" Yi Chunfeng ignored the furious gaze of the Black Demon Emperor as he revealed a faint smile. "I don't care who you are, you're gonna die today." A surge of killing intent erupted from the Black Demon Emperor's body. He took a step into the air and instantly appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng. Just as Yi Chunfeng ordered the sword puppet to attack, his sharp senses suddenly detected danger. His body flashed, and like a bolt of lightning, he appeared dozens of meters away. The instant he dodged, a terrifying soul broke out of the Black Demon Emperor's body and launched a fatal blow at the space where Yi Chunfeng had just been. The terrifying soul attack directly distorted the space. "I didn't expect you to have such a hidden card." After narrowly dodging the attack of the demon soul progenitor, Yi Chunfeng's pupils shrunk into the most dangerous pinholes. He looked at the legless demon soul progenitor floating in the air and said coldly, "Junior, you've got guts. How dare you destroy my demon Pattern Valley? Today, even if the Heavenly King comes, he won't be able to save you." The demon soul progenitor spoke in human language and spoke in a sinister voice filled with killing intent. "Humph, you want to kill me, Yi Chunfeng, with just a soul body," sneered and said disdainfully. "Kid, let's see if you can still be so arrogant after I swallow your brain." With that, the demon soul progenitor turned into a terrifying soul light and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Purple Beginnings Holy Thunder. The instant the demon soul progenitor attacked, the Purple Beginnings Holy Thunder broke out of Yi Chunfeng's body and turned into a 10,000 zhang-long bolt of lightning that blasted toward the demon soul progenitor. Lightning was the nemesis of all souls. After being attacked by the Purple Beginnings Holy Thunder, the soul attack launched by the demon soul progenitor was immediately broken, and he was forced back by the Purple Beginnings Holy Thunder. "Holy Thunder! You actually subdued a type of holy thunder!" The demon soul progenitor's whirlpool-like eyes were filled with shock. "That's right." Yi Chunfeng revealed an arrogant smile and said, "Today, the demon Pattern Valley will be destroyed." With that, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Chaos Divine Beast, the Golden Clear Dragon Blood Lion, the Marquis of Qianming, the Spirit Fish, the Demon Wind and Cloud, the king of slaughter, and several other heavenly beasts. Destroy them for me. With Yi Chenfeng's order, the Chaos Divine Beast, the Marquis of Qianming, and the others immediately launched a fatal attack toward the Demon Pattern Valley experts who had sealed the void in the distance. Buzz. Just as the shocked Black Demon Emperor wanted to help, the sword puppet turned into a sword and shook the void, continuing to attack him, entangling him and not giving him a chance to help. Kid, you deserve to die. The demon's soul progenitor was completely enraged. He let out an uncontrollable roar and condensed a several zhang long soul spear, thrusting it toward Yi Chenfeng. Purple beginnings, holy thunder, break for me. Although the demon soul progenitor's soul was comparable to a nirvana heavenly realm expert's soul, the purple beginnings holy thunder completely restrained it, constantly piercing through the incoming soul spear. Ancient underworld song. When the sacred thunder of purple beginnings countered the devil soul progenitor's attacks, the soul in Yi Chenfeng's mind erupted, turning into runes of the great Tao that played a powerful ancient underworld song. It attacked the devil soul progenitor, constantly damaging his soul and causing him to roar in anger. Damn it, is this kid my Demon Pattern Valley's nemesis? The Black Demon Emperor did not expect that the demon soul progenitor, who had been sealed in the Demon Pattern Valley for tens of thousands of years, would actually be completely suppressed by Yi Chenfeng. Furthermore, there were still a large number of experts hidden in his spatial treasure, constantly killing the experts in his valley. His heart fell to the bottom. However, the Demon Pattern Valley was his route, leaving him no way out. He could only grit his teeth and fight with all his strength. Junior, I'll let you see what I can do. The demon soul progenitor, who had been injured by the ancient underworld song, let out a furious roar. His soul rapidly compressed until it became an extremely thin soul strand. It pierced through the great Tao music, stabbing towards Yi Chenfeng's mind. It wanted to break into his sea of soul and directly devour his soul. Purple beginnings, holy thunder, extinguish. The demon soul progenitor, who had been compressed to the limit, attacked. The god-devouring brain, which was rapidly calculating, instantly captured the trajectory of his attack. Yi Chenfeng quickly extended a finger, and a large amount of purple beginnings holy thunder shot out, continuously attacking the demon soul progenitor and damaging his soul. Boom, boom, boom. With a series of explosions, the demon soul progenitor, who had compressed his soul force to the limit, pierced through the purple beginnings holy thunder like a hot knife through butter. He endured Yi Chenfeng's finger, which contained 100 million kilograms of force, and directly broke into Yi Chenfeng's sea of soul. Soul devouring. After paying a great price to enter Yi Chenfeng's sea of soul, the demon soul progenitor immediately released a powerful soul-devouring power to devour Yi Chenfeng's soul. Old thing, you're too naive. Your soul is the same as mine, so how can you devour mine? Yi Chenfeng revealed a cold smile. A terrifying dizziness formed in his sea of soul. It was like a heavy hammer that ruthlessly smashed into the demon soul progenitor's soul, aggravating his soul injury. In the next moment, the god-devouring brain appeared in Yi Chenfeng's sea of soul, turning into a terrifying black hole that directly devoured the screaming demon soul progenitor and crazily crushed him. In the blink of an eye, the demon soul progenitor was turned into a strand of soul, becoming nourishment for the god-devouring brain. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this book. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:24. What? The demonic soul ancestor's aura disappeared? The Black Demon Emperor, who was controlling the hexagonal demonic pattern plate and fiercely fighting the sword puppet, suddenly felt that the demon soul progenitor's aura had disappeared. His expression froze, and he revealed a look of deep fear. Watermark advertising test. Watermark advertising test. He knew how terrifying the demon soul ancestor was, especially the demon soul ancestor's soul-devouring trump card. Even he was somewhat afraid of him. However, when the demon soul progenitor broke into Yi Chenfeng's soul sea, his aura suddenly disappeared. This caused the Black Demon Emperor to panic. Crescent blade arc. While the Black Demon Emperor was distracted, the sword puppet burned up its energy and turned into an incomparably sharp sword of light. Cutting through all obstacles, its brilliance dazzled the world as it slashed toward the Black Demon Emperor, forcing him to control the hexagonal demonic pattern disc to defend with all his might. The sword puppet's sword was extremely powerful. Although the Black Demon Emperor managed to block it in a panic, he still lost control of his body for a brief moment as he retreated uncontrollably. At this time, the Chaos Divine Beast suddenly appeared and blasted out the primal chaos light of 5 elements, ruthlessly bombarding the Black Demon Emperor's back. It broke through his body's defenses and blasted his back into a bloody mess. The next moment, the Chaos Divine Beast, which was filled with nearly 200 million gene of power, suddenly hugged the Black Demon Emperor's body. Using the Chaos Mountain, it descended from the sky and crushed the Black Demon Emperor under its body, smashing him to the ground. Boom! A deep crater appeared in the heavily damaged mountain peak. The Chaos Divine Beast crushed the Black Demon Emperor until he spat out a mouthful of blood. More than 10 of his bones were shattered, and his body was severely injured. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. The Black Demon Emperor was injured, and the experts from Devil Engraving Valley were severely injured. Under the frenzied attacks of Ling Yu, King of Massacre, and the others, more and more experts from Devil Engraving Valley died, turning into clouds of blood mist in the air. However, the Marquis of Qianming, who was fighting 1 against 2, was at a disadvantage. His attacks were completely suppressed by the 2 of them. Moon Concealment Hegemony. After suppressing the Marquis of Qianming's attacks, the silver-haired old woman and the young man who had a tacit understanding in their attacks unleashed their powerful divine abilities. They transformed into 2 incomparably tyrannical crescent moons and ruthlessly blasted toward the Marquis of Qianming, wanting to kill him in one fell swoop. Suddenly, an ancient bell covered in ancient artifact markings descended from the sky, enveloping the Marquis of Qianming and blocking the Moon Concealment Hegemony art executed by the silver-haired old woman and her companion. Boom! Boom! The Moon Concealment Tyrant art kept exploding on the surface of the ancient bell. Loud bell chimes resounded, shaking their souls and causing them great pain. Gu Jianga, heart connected to the moon. Just as their souls were injured, Yi Chenfeng arrived just in time with the dragon spine sacred sword and performed the ancient sword song. The resounding tune of the Grand Tao resounded out as the sword light that was like a mountain was branded with the mark of the Grand Tao, and it was like a bright moon that shone high up in the sky while emanating boundless Tao insight pressure as it fiercely slashed towards the white-haired old man that was the closest to him. The white-haired elder was once again attacked by Gu Jianga's voice of the Tao. His reflexes were greatly affected, and he couldn't dodge those sword-heart connecting moon at all. His body's defense was directly broken through, and his shoulder and right arm were chopped off. A large amount of blood spurted out. Demon Snake Seal, Ancient Beast Head Seal, kill. Marquis Qianming flew out of the fallen soul bell and grabbed the white-haired elder while he was heavily injured. He controlled the 2 ancient seals and smashed them at the white-haired elder's head. The terrifying attack exploded the white-haired elder's head and killed him. He seeing the white-haired elder's corpse fall from midair, the white-haired old woman let out a long and painful howl. Her body flashed as she hugged his headless corpse. 2 streams of hot tears flowed out from the wrinkled corners of her eyes. I will kill all of you to take revenge for Qianhe. The white-haired old woman let out a long and sorrowful howl. She didn't care about the price she had to pay as she burned the demon patterns and all the blood in her body. She raised her strength to the limit and attacked the Marquis Qianming like a madwoman. True Qilin seal. Without waiting for the murderous white-haired old woman to get close, the Marquis Qianming quickly formed a seal with his hands and condensed an extraordinarily mighty Qilin saint beast. It ferociously charged towards the white-haired old woman. Wulua Yoban, the white-haired old woman with blood-red eyes, raised all the Tao energy in her body to the limit. She was about to use the number 1 killing move of the Demon Pattern Valley to deal a fatal blow to the Marquis Qianming. Suddenly, a terrifying dizziness force broke into her soul sea, causing her reaction speed to show a trace of sluggishness, delaying her attack. When she came back to her senses, the true Qilin seal of the Marquis Qianming had already struck her body. It was frantically destroying her physical body and aggravating her injuries. Let me send you to hell and let you reunite in the Yellow Springs. Yi Chunfeng fused the bronze sword soul into the dragon spine sacred sword and thrust out a horizontal sword slash. The sword pierced towards the heart meridian of the white-haired old woman who had lost control of her body. Chi. A streak of sword radiance flashed through the air. The heart meridian of the white-haired old woman was pierced by the dragon's spine divine sword. The bronze sword soul released more than 100 sword Tao inscriptions and pierced through her body, crushing her internal organs. Boom! The white-haired old woman's body exploded in mid-air, turning into a large amount of blood mist. She died on the spot. Seeing the 2 great elders of the Demon Pattern Valley killed, and the Black Demon Emperor severely injured, the remaining experts of the Demon Pattern Valley gave up on resisting. They desperately fled out of the Demon Pattern Valley that was filled with the thick smell of blood. I will remember this grudge. Sooner or later, the Orochi royal family will seek justice for me. The heavily injured Black Demon Emperor also had thoughts of retreating. He dodged the fatal attacks of the Chaos Divine Beasts and the Sword Puppet and summoned his spirit boat to escape. Do you think you can escape? Yi Chunfeng stepped forward and suddenly blocked the front of the spirit boat. He ignited his god-demon bloodline and raised his physical strength to the limit. He grabbed onto the spirit boat tightly and forcefully slowed down its flying speed. However, the flying speed of the spirit boat was too terrifying. Yi Chunfeng could only slightly slow down the flying speed of the spirit boat as he retreated in midair. Boss, let us help you. The Chaos Divine Beasts, the Golden Clear Dragon Bloodlion, the Golden-Haired Iron Ape, and the Single-Horned Flood Dragon all rushed over and grabbed onto the burning spirit boat that was trying to fly out of the Black Demon Mountain. With the help of the Chaos Divine Beasts, the flying speed of the spirit boat was greatly affected. This made the Black Demon Emperor on the spirit boat change his expression and was about to attack. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Just as he attacked, the sword puppet appeared above his head and turned into a world-shaking light sword. It slashed out a mercury-like sword, forcibly breaking through the spirit boat's defense and slashing toward the Black Demon Emperor's head, not giving him a chance to attack the Chaos Divine Beasts and the others. God Perplexing Fist. 2 great ancient seals. Kill! The spirit fish, the Marquis of Qianming, and the others also rushed over at this time and constantly attacked the Black Demon Emperor on the spirit boat, forcing him to defend with all his strength. Damn it! The spirit boat's speed was forcefully slowed by Yi Chunfeng and the others, and he himself was attacked by the sword puppet, the spirit fish, and the others. The severely injured Black Demon Emperor could not resist at all. Helpless, he decisively abandoned the spirit boat and used blood escape to escape from the demonic Pattern Valley. In the end, the Black Demon Emperor paid a great price and fought his way out of the encirclement, disappearing from the demonic Pattern Valley. Mobile reading site, book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:25. The Red and White Peak was a mountain at the intersection of the Octahead Kingdom and the Kirin Kingdom. The mountain was tens of thousands of meters high and its peak was like a sharp sword that pierced into the clouds. After destroying the demonic Pattern Valley and taking away one of the demonic Pattern Valley's treasures, Yi Chunfeng rode his heavenly horse and crossed an extremely vast area to arrive at the Red and White Peak. The reason why Yi Chunfeng traveled millions of miles to arrive at the Red and White Peak was because the Marquis of Qianming had completely refined the power of the divine pill and reached the limit of nirvana. He could use the gate of heaven to break through to nirvana. As for Kong Sungchen and the other two, after taking the ancient path pills that Yi Chunfeng gave them, they were also close to the limit of their realm and wanted to cultivate to the nirvana realm. In order to let Kong Sungchen and the other two come into close contact with the red flame sky where the gate of heaven was and prepare to cultivate to the nirvana realm, the Marquis of Qianming told Yi Chunfeng an excellent place to cultivate, and this place was the Red and White Peak. Young Master Yi, the mountain in front of us is the Crimson White Peak. This peak is several tens of thousands of meters high, and the highest peak is very close to the crimson flame sky. Many people from my Qilin Divine Kingdom are cultivating there. The Marquis Qianming pointed at the white peak that was as steep as a sharp blade and slowly spoke. Let's go up. Yi Chunfeng looked at the red and white peak from afar and summoned his quasi-sage treasure, the golden wing feather. He flew into the thick clouds with the Marquis of Qianming and flew towards the highest peak of the red and white peak at an extremely fast speed. Yes, there are people on the peak. When Yi Chunfeng and the Marquis of Qianming flew to the highest peak of the red and white peak at an extremely fast speed, they found that the peak was heavily guarded and filled with powerful restrictions. It was suspected that someone was cultivating to the nirvana realm there. Young Master Yi, why don't we find a place to wait? The Marquis of Qianming looked at Yi Chunfeng and asked softly. Okay. Yi Chunfeng was not a domineering person. He did not forcefully seize the peak of the red and white peak. He planned to find a mountain and wait until there was no one on the peak before occupying it. Who are you two? Why are you here? Suddenly, a furious roar rang out. Several men clad in golden battle armor stepped on the void and appeared, surrounding Yi Chunfeng and the young man. As Yi Chunfeng and the Marquis of Qianming had changed their appearances, the golden-armored men did not recognize them. Young Master Yi, they are the guards of my Qilin royal family. The Marquis of Qianming glanced at the golden-armored man surrounding them and recognized their identities through the unique imprints on their bodies. You don't have to be nervous, we don't have any bad intentions. We originally wanted to cultivate in the Nirvana realm at the peak of the Crimson White Peak, but we didn't expect that there would be people there. Yi Chunfeng, who was preparing to leave, glanced at the several golden-armored men blocking their path of retreat and slowly said, "Humph, you don't even know how to lie. With your level 5 combat beast emperor strength, you can also change your cultivation to Nirvana realm." A man who looked like the captain of the bodyguards coldly snorted and said, "I think you are clearly the spies of other divine nations. Whether you believe it or not, we are indeed not the spies of other divine nations." Yi Chunfeng looked at the domineering golden-armored men and slowly said, "Okay, please step aside. Want to leave? It's not that easy." Under the gaze of the man who looked like the captain of the guards, the 4 men in golden armor suddenly took out sharp spears. Like dragons emerging from the sea, they pierced towards Yi Chunfeng and Yi Qingyu, wanting to kill them to prevent future troubles. Get lost. Before the spears in the hands of the 4 men touched Yi Chunfeng's body, the Marquis of Qianming was furious. He let out a roar like muffled thunder. Rolling Tao power burst out from his body and fiercely bombarded the 4 golden-armored men, directly shattering their body defense and sending them flying. "I have a bad temper, I advise you not to provoke me, otherwise you will regret it." Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes glanced at the captain of the bodyguards, who was shocked by the Marquis of Qianming's strength and coldly warned, "How arrogant!" A low roar resounded, and a tall middle-aged man who wore a dark golden robe embroidered with a Qilin pattern, and whose deep eyes flickered with a ruthless light, appeared, accompanied by 2 white-haired old men. Marquis Qian Ming looking at the middle-aged man who suddenly appeared, Yi Chunfeng immediately recognized him. He was Marquis Qian Ming, the man who forced him to buy and sell at Sky Street and was finally kicked away by the Tao addict. How dare you hurt my people? If you know what's good for you, destroy your cultivation and kneel down and beg for mercy. Maybe I will spare your lives if I am in a good mood. Marquis Qian Ming put his hands behind his back and arrogantly looked at Yi Chunfeng and the young man, giving an order that could not be disobeyed. What if I don't want to? Yi Chunfeng slightly raised the corner of his mouth and asked coldly. Haha, unwilling. Marquis Qian Ming laughed and said arrogantly, if you are unwilling, there is only one outcome, and that is death. Marquis Qian Ming, I did not want to trouble you, but unfortunately, God wants you to die. If so, then I will follow God's will. Yi Chunfeng already had a grudge against Marquis Qian Ming, and now his life was threatened. This made Yi Chunfeng decide to take revenge, both new and old. Kill the two of them. Marquis Qian Ming's eyes were full of murderous intent as he ordered coldly. Yes, Marquis. The two gray-robed old men from Nirvana obeyed, and stepped on the void slowly towards Yi Chunfeng and the young man. As they stepped forward, their strength kept increasing. When they were 5 meters away from Yi Chunfeng and the young man, their strength had almost reached the limit. The terrifying aura that exploded from their bodies caused the clouds to roll violently. Chaos, come out! When the two gray-robed old men attacked, Yi Chunfeng did not waste the power of the sword puppet and summoned the chaotic divine beast. Chaos, Marquis Qian Ming, I will leave these two to you. I will deal with Marquis Qian Ming, Yi Chunfeng ordered through voice transmission. Roar, don't worry boss, they are just old bastards. Watch me devour them. The chaotic divine beast roared and instantly transformed into its original form, which was the size of a small hill. It released waves of demonic energy and crashed towards one of the gray-robed old men like a mountain. Saint Beast feeling the power of the chaotic divine beast, Marquis Qian Ming's expression changed slightly. The way he looked at Yi Chunfeng changed drastically. Saint Beasts were rare in the Central World. Those who could tame the Saint Beast either had terrifying strength or a powerful background. As the chaotic divine beast and the gray-robed old man fought fiercely, Marquis Qian Ming also moved. He held a supreme-grade Taoist sword that Yi Chunfeng gave him and attacked the other gray-robed old man. Wait a minute, who are you guys? Marquis Qian Ming shouted. Seeing the gray-robed old man, who was on par with him, being suppressed by the chaotic divine beast and Marquis Qian Ming's expression changed slightly. He regretted his rashness and shouted, "The one who will kill you." After saying that, a cold light flashed in front of Marquis Qian Ming. Yi Chunfeng held the ice dragon sword and stabbed towards Marquis Qian Ming's chest. Damn it, you are courting death. When Marquis Qian Ming saw that Yi Chunfeng, who was a Class 5 combat beast emperor, dared to attack him, he immediately released his powerful Taoist energy and took out a supreme-grade Taoist artifact. The handle of the Taoist artifact was inlaid with a huge gem. As long as he could capture Yi Chunfeng, he would be able to control the situation. Buzz! When the sword and the saber collided, a force that was beyond Marquis Qian Ming's imagination passed through the saber and into his arm. The impact caused his hand to bleed and his arm to become numb. Just as he was shocked by Yi Chunfeng's strength, a dazzling sword light flashed in front of him. In the next moment, the amulet around his neck shattered. If it was not for this powerful amulet that helped him block Yi Chunfeng's horizontal slash at the critical moment, his body would have been split open and he would have been severely injured. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:26. Bloodline Ignition, 3 heads 6 arms. Realizing that Yi Chunfeng was much more powerful than he had imagined, Marquis Qian Jie didn't dare to be careless. He immediately ignited his bloodline power and transformed into the ultimate form of 3 heads, 6 arms. He summoned 6 Dao soldiers and attacked Yi Chenfeng. Watermark advertisement test 3 heads, 6 arms. I know this move too. Yi Chenfeng smiled and ignited his dragon bloodline. The soul power in his body increased exponentially. Under the horrified gaze of Marquis Qianjie, he also transformed into the ultimate form of 3 heads, 6 arms. He activated his 5 acupoints and unleashed a force of 100 million pounds. He held the 6 Dao soldiers and fought with Marquis Qianjie. Who are you? How can you know the secret technique of the Kirin royal family? Seeing Yi Chenfeng transform into 3 heads, 6 arms, Marquis Qianjie's heart was in turmoil. He asked in shock. 3 heads, 6 arms was a secret technique passed down in the Kirin kingdom for countless years. Outsiders couldn't learn it at all. This made Marquis Qianjie suspect that Yi Chenfeng was also a member of the Kirin royal family. While he was still in shock, Marquis Qianming also transformed into 3 heads, 6 arms and fought fiercely with the gray-robed elder. Wait, you are also a member of the Kirin royal family? Seeing that Marquis Qianming also transformed into 3 heads, 6 arms, Marquis Qianjie's expression changed slightly. He immediately shouted, "So what? No matter who we are, you can't escape death." With that said, Yi Chenfeng waved the 6 Dao soldiers and attacked Marquis Qianjie continuously. The attacks with more than 100 million pounds of force shook Marquis Qianjie's arms and caused severe numbness. The blood in his body started to boil violently. Don't you know that the Kirin royal family has a rule that states that the members of the Kirin royal family are not allowed to fight among themselves? Marquis Qianjie shouted as he defended against Yi Chenfeng's fierce attack. Humph, the rule of the Kirin royal family. Yi Chenfeng snorted and said arrogantly, "I only know that the consequence of offending me is death." You. Marquis Qianjie was furious. However, the more arrogant Yi Chenfeng was, the more uncertain he felt. He even suspected that Yi Chenfeng was a prince of the Qilin royal family. Normally, only the Qilin royal prince would be so arrogant. Just as Marquis Qianjie was about to leave, Yi Chenfeng suddenly unleashed his soul force and unleashed a wave of dizziness onto Marquis Qianjie's soul force. Marquis Qianjie felt as if his soul force was being pierced by countless needles, and his reaction time was greatly reduced. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, Yi Chenfeng infused the weapons with 100 million gene of strength and threw them out with all his might. With the force of a mountain, the weapons pierced towards Marquis Qianjie's body. Cosmos sword formation. When Marquis Qianhua regained his senses and used all his strength to neutralize the 6 heavy weapons, Yi Chenfeng willed the 81 Qiankuan swords to fly out of his body. Under the control of Yi Chenfeng's will, the 81 Qiankuan swords formed a terrifying sword diagram and attacked. The Cosmos sword formation was a saint-level mystical power. Moreover, the 81 Cosmos swords were all supreme-grade Dao swords. Under the control of Yi Chenfeng's 3-star Dao Saint Realm Soul, the Cosmos swords continued to form a sword formation and attacked ferociously, completely suppressing Marquis Qianjie's attack. Stop. If you don't stop now, don't blame me for not showing you any mercy. Marquis Qianjie's face turned red as he shouted out a warning. Cosmos sword formation, Cosmos strike. Yi Chenfeng ignored Marquis Qianhua's warning. With a thought, the 81 Qiankuan swords merged together, forming a gigantic Qiankuan sword that was dozens of feet long. The sword swept across the sky, splitting the heavens and the earth. A deep sword mark appeared in the space. After being attacked by Yi Chenfeng's Cosmos strike, Marquis Qianjie was sent flying. Large amounts of blood spurted out from his mouth as his body flew like a kite with a broken string. He crashed into a mountain in the distance and created a bottomless hole in the mountain. Marquis Qianjie was afraid of Yi Chenfeng's identity and was injured by him. At the same time, the divine beast, Marquis Qianming, also gained an overwhelming advantage. The divine beast of chaos, who had recovered a small portion of its inherited memories, was even more ferocious. It continuously unleashed its power and destroyed the defense of the gray-robed elder. Over and over again, the gray-robed elder was sent crashing into the ground. More than half of his body was badly mutilated. After his body was severely injured, the gray-robed elder immediately spat out 2 light balls. They flew at a speed faster than the speed of light and pierced towards the divine beast of chaos. Smash! The divine beast of chaos moved his mind and a huge bronze coffin appeared on his body. He raised the bronze coffin high up and with a force of more than 200 million pounds, he smashed the 2 light balls away. In the next moment, the divine beast of chaos shot out the chaotic 5 elements light, which heavily bombarded the gray-robed elder's body. It pierced through his chest and sent him crashing into the distance. Old bastard, go to hell! After severely injuring the gray-robed elder, the divine beast of chaos followed up with another attack. He poured all of his strength and demonic energy into the bronze coffin and threw it towards the gray-robed elder who was crashing into the mountain. The terrifying ancient coffin was like a meteorite that had fallen into the mortal world. It twisted the void and fiercely bombarded the body of the gray-robed old man who was powerless to dodge. While shattering several miles of mountain, almost all the bones in his body were shattered. His physical body was severely injured and he lost his ability to fight. The divine beast of chaos won the complete victory with his powerful strength. Marquis Qianming, who had cultivated to the limit of nirvana, also kept severely injuring his opponent. Seeing the situation in front of him, Marquis Qianjie showed a trace of panic. He hurriedly said, "It is all my fault today. Can you spare us because we are both from the Kirin royal family? As long as you let us go, I will give you a generous gift in the future." Kirin royal family? Who said I am from the Kirin royal family? Yi Qinfeng's lips curled up slightly, revealing a trace of arrogance. He took out the dragon-spined saintly sword that he had forged and said with a murderous intent, This sword, how could this sword be in your hands?" Marquis Qianjie had witnessed Yi Qinfeng's amazing performance in the weapon-forging competition at the Spectator Pavilion. He deeply remembered the appearance of the dragon-spine saintly sword that he had forged. When Yi Qinfeng summoned the dragon-spine saintly sword, he immediately recognized it. His heart was in turmoil. How could this sword be in my hands? Yi Qinfeng showed a trace of a cold smile. He summoned Jinqing Dragon, Blood Lion, One-Horned Flood Dragon and other heavenly beasts, and ordered them to kill Marquis Qianjie's subordinate. "You are Feng Qin?" A figure suddenly appeared in Marquis Qianjie's mind. He couldn't help but exclaim, "You finally recognized me." As Yi Qinfeng listened to the miserable cries ringing in his ears, he revealed a faint smile and admitted his identity. Blood escape. After confirming Yi Qinfeng's identity, Marquis Qianjie was shocked. Without any hesitation, he immediately used blood escape to escape. With the enmity between him and Yi Qinfeng, he had no doubt that he would die if he continued to stay here. "Do you think you can escape?" Yi Qinfeng summoned his quasi-Dao treasure, the golden wing's feather. With a dazzling golden light, it instantly blocked Marquis Qianjie's escape. In the next moment, the 4 great Dao diagrams appeared on Yi Qinfeng's body and sealed the entire void. Gu Jianga, sword heart connected to the moon. Just as Marquis Qianjie wanted to rely on his absolute strength to tear the void sealed by the 4 great Dao diagrams, Yi Qinfeng stabbed out a sword that contained the sound of Dao. The sword shook the heavens and the earth. The power of the sword was unstoppable and irreversible. The sun, moon and stars dimmed under the attack of the sword. Qi. Marquis Qianjie's body was injured by the sword heart connected to the moon. A large amount of blood spurted out from his body like a fountain. However, Marquis Qianjie's strength was also not bad. Yi Qinfeng's ultimate killing move did not kill him. 9 Flood Dragon Diagram, Annihilation. As the Marquis of Qianjie fell to the ground, Yi Chenfeng summoned the 9-serpent dragon carving. He channeled his soul energy and Tao will into the 9-serpent dragon carving and controlled the 9-serpent dragon carving to form 9-serpent dragon spirit. With the power to destroy the heavens, the serpent dragon spirits charged towards the Marquis of Qianjie. Boom, boom, boom. Earth-shattering explosions sounded. Under the attack of the 9-flood dragon diagram, Marquis Qianjie, who was severely injured, was blasted into pieces and died. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 12:27. Marquis Qianao was killed by the 9-flood dragon painting, and all his subordinates were killed by the divine beasts of chaos and Marquis Qianming. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Let's go to the red and white peak. After taking away the belongings of Marquis Qianao and the others, Yi Chenfeng and the others didn't hesitate. They immediately sped up and flew through the clouds filled with a faint smell of blood. They flew to the red and white peak shrouded in clouds, and felt the red flame sky, the lowest level of the central world. There were 3 levels in the central world: Red Flame Sky, Taiqing Sky, and Lihen Sky. The gate to the heavenly realm was hidden in the Red Flame Sky. However, because the gate to the heavenly realm was sealed by the alien race, no one had been able to ascend to the heavenly realm for many years. Those who couldn't ascend to the heavenly realm and reach the peak of level 6 Combat Beast Emperor could only use the heavenly Tao contained in the 3 levels of the heavenly realm to cultivate the Nirvana realm and increase their strength and lifespan. However, the 3 levels of the central world were extremely terrifying. The heavenly Tao contained different levels of heavenly punishment. Without a strong foundation and strength, the chances of cultivating the Nirvana realm were extremely slim. This was also the reason why the Nirvana realm experts fought over sacred items like the golden fiery lotus and the 9-star lotus seed, which could restrain the heavenly punishment. Seniors, this is the best place to cultivate the Nirvana realm. However, the risks are extremely high, so please be prepared. Yi Chenfeng sent Kong Sungchen and the others out and said, "Seniors, the golden fiery lotus you picked can restrain the heavenly punishment in the red flame sky. These 3 living souls are also a gift to you in case you need them. Feng Chen, we will always remember your kindness. We hope that we will have the chance to repay you in the future." Kong Sungchen and the others expressed their gratitude from the bottom of their hearts. "Seniors, you are too kind. I believe that you will be able to cultivate the red flame sky successfully." Yi Chenfeng smiled and said softly, "You can stay on the red and white peak and slowly comprehend the red flame sky. If you have any questions, you can ask Marquis Qianming." "Okay." Jiang Xingchen and the other 2 nodded. They sat down cross-legged on the top of the red and white peak, where thick clouds and mist were flowing. They released their powerful soul power and penetrated into the red and white peak, comprehending the power of laws contained in this first heavenly layer. Ancient map fragment, seal. While the Marquis of Qianming, Kong Sungchen, and the others were meditating at the crimson white peak, preparing to switch to the Nirvana realm and break through to a higher realm, Yi Chenfeng summoned the powerful ancient map fragment. He controlled it to grow bigger and bigger, forming layers of defensive walls that restricted the entire mountain peak. Then, he summoned a large number of formation flags and fused them into the void to set up a forbidden space formation to strengthen the restriction on the crimson white peak. I wonder what kind of treasures Marquis Qianjie left behind. Since Marquis Qianjie was preparing to attack the Nirvana on the red-white mountain, he must have prepared well. Using the power of the God-Eater brain, Yi Chenfeng broke the restrictive spell on the Marquis Qianjie's belongings and sent his soul power into the 2 dark golden interspatial rings. There were so many ancient Dao pills, Gu Dao treasure-level battlesuits, defensive array diagrams, and 2 stalks of heaven and earth spiritual herbs that could restrain the power of lightning. Yi Chenfeng checked the Marquis Qianjie's belongings and found that most of them were treasures that could restrain the world annihilation, heavenly punishment. Other than that, there were also a few high-quality weapon refining crystals. He was not stingy and distributed these treasures to the Marquis of Qianming, Kong Sungchen, and the others. With these treasures, the Marquis of Qianming, Kong Sungchen, and the others had a higher chance of surviving the world annihilation, heavenly punishment. After distributing the Marquis Qianjie's belongings, Yi Chenfeng checked the 2 gray-robed old men's belongings one by one. Unexpectedly, he found many powerful beast cores and demonic beast blood essences, as well as some insect eggs. However, these insect eggs had not hatched yet, so Yi Chenfeng could not tell what kind of insect eggs they were. Yi Chenfeng placed these insect eggs in a jade box and poured some 10,000 years spiritual milk into the box. He also dripped 3 drops of his own blood essence onto the box and sealed it before keeping it in the universe mirror. Space Swallower, One-Horned Flood Dragon, Golden-Furred Iron Ape, these beast cores and demonic beast blood essences are for you. Yi Chenfeng distributed all the beast cores and demonic beast blood essences to the Space Swallower, One-Horned Flood Dragon, and the other heavenly beasts. He also asked for the ancient bronze coffin that was the Chaos Divine Beast's weapon. The reason he asked for the ancient bronze coffin was because he wanted to help the Chaos Divine Beast reforge the ancient bronze coffin. He wanted to raise the grade of the ancient bronze coffin and increase the Chaos Divine Beast's combat power. 9 true black stone, golden sun jade, black star sand, purple jade. King Yi Chenfeng placed more than 10 supreme-grade weapon refining crystals into the vermilion bird cauldron and spat out the heaven-burning saint flame. The heaven-burning saint flame melted all the crystals and refined them into liquid essences. He then slowly refined them into the ancient bronze coffin and refined them into weapon inscriptions, increasing the grade of the ancient bronze coffin. Time flew by quickly. Soon, a month had passed. During this month, Yi Chenfeng refined the ancient bronze coffin again. He carved a large number of weapon inscriptions on the ancient bronze coffin and forcefully raised it to the level of a quasi-sacred artifact. The Chaos Divine Beast was so happy that it could not close its mouth. The Marquis of Qianming cultivated in seclusion for a month and adjusted his body to the best state. He was ready to rush into the supreme pure sky and borrow the heavenly punishment formed by the heavenly Tao to attack Nirvana. Marquis of Qianming, don't be too burdened. We will wait here for your safe return. Yi Chenfeng looked at the solemn Marquis of Qianming and said slowly, Young Master Yi has given me so many treasures. I will definitely succeed. The Marquis of Qianming revealed a confident smile. He looked up at the sky and burst out with a shocking power. He soared into the sky and disappeared into the vast firmament. Scarlet flame world-destroying heavenly thunder. The Marquis of Qianming tore through the restrictions in the void at an extremely fast speed. When he entered the crimson flame sky, the remnant soul that Yi Chenfeng left on him sensed that the crimson flame sky was filled with a large amount of crimson lightning. This crimson lightning was the crimson flame world annihilation heavenly thunder that was formed by the heavenly Tao. The crimson flame world annihilation heavenly thunder was extremely terrifying. It was enough to shatter a high-grade Tao artifact. If one was not fully prepared and was attacked by the endless crimson flame world annihilation heavenly thunder, there was no hope of survival. Cultivating the Nirvana realm in the crimson flame world annihilation heavenly thunder was the process of fighting with the Grim Reaper. First, one had to guide the crimson flame world annihilation heavenly thunder into one's body and shatter it. Then, one had to borrow the heavenly Tao within the crimson flame world annihilation heavenly thunder to reconstruct one's physical body and transform one's soul power. Only then could one cultivate the Nirvana realm. Without great perseverance and a deep foundation, one had no hope of cultivating the Nirvana realm. After entering the crimson flame sky, the Marquis of Qianming was immediately attacked by the Crimson Flame Sky Destroyer Heavenly Thunder. However, he had already cultivated the Nirvana realm to the extreme. Relying on his powerful Tao power, he easily blocked the attack of the Crimson Flame Sky Destroyer Heavenly Thunder. He flew to the extreme of the Crimson Flame Sky Destroyer Heavenly Thunder, tore through the Heavenly Seal, and entered the even more terrifying Grand Clear Sky. Boom! Boom! The Marquis of Qianming entered the Tai Ching Heaven and immediately detonated the Heavenly Tao rules in the Tai Ching Heaven. A series of world annihilation thunder mountains appeared in the Tai Ching Heaven and attacked the Marquis of Qianming. They instantly engulfed him and scattered the remnant soul that Yi Chunfeng left on him. The moment Yi Chunfeng's remnant soul disappeared, he also saw a trace of the secret of the Tai Ching Heaven. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.